different. This is magnificent, man. And I like this. I enjoyed myself to the fullest, and I can't wait to come back on. I can't wait to see it, see more of the people on here.
And it's also wonderful to hear people talk sanely to each other.
You're doing something like you and I've always talked about, outside the box. And on top of that, entertaining people at the same time. And on top of that, educating people at the same time. Obviously, you can't lose, bro.
Last name Cabrera, first name Ryan. Ryan, welcome to my friend. How are you, man?
Whoa, dude. Yo, if I ever need to find somebody, just in general, I am calling you.
You know, your future has no limits, Avi. You just keep doing what you're doing, my friend, and you're going to be able to write your own ticket.
I mean, yes, pain is inevitable. I mean, there's a reason we have these sensors in our body. I mean, they're warning signs. In other words, something hurts. Obviously, something is amiss.
That's the standard, especially on film. When the film, the cameras weigh in on your soul. If you commit to not putting crap out there, you can actually make a difference, certainly for yourself, and maybe something about the soul.
And we're just beginning to unlock and comprehend the true nature of the universe, in my humble opinion. And we still have no definitive proof that life exists outside of our solar system.
And I would ask him to come with me back to early 2023 to save my son's life.
My father passed away. She's an only child. Her mother had passed away. She didn't have any family. And she asked me to walk her down the aisle. That's the part that changed.
That cruel moment of when you realize there is no hope. That tears at me, but it doesn't tear at me anymore because there was hope. I hung on just long enough to come out the other side. And here I am. Look at me, all beautiful and stuff.
But now you're going to bring your garbage and war out into space. Well, we're not going to let that happen.
The high tide's going to come. You're not going to be able to overcome at least what technology has created.
And they were rebuilding that country at a cost.
Their truth is the truth that we imbue in them, to be kind, to be civil.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm not all the names that the kids were calling me on the playground. I was dyslexic. It was a recognition.
Continue to work as hard as you can, because by working, Avi, you will keep yourself busy and get used to the grief. The grief will build up. Two people, two different stories.
It was a life-changing moment because I was no longer allowing myself to be a victim.
Another trio of questions, now more underrated. We have Billy D. Williams, Italian man named Skippy, or unicycle.
I'm sorry, Italian man named Skippy. Put me away, Avi. That's
Archie Bunker, the mountain climber, Ralph Cramden, the yoga instructor, or Don Corleone, the computer repair person.
It's clearly an issue with the hard drive. I'm going to go Don Corleone.
The bed actually looks like a bed. ED. If you think about it, lasagna is just spaghetti flavored cake. I don't know. Have we ever thought about this? That the object of golf is to play the least amount of golf. Think about it. That's golf in a nutshell.
Yep. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah. That's true.
That's the object.
Where I went around, I visited all the adults first in the the Stony Brook University Cancer Center. And then I visited the children, and I would say the adults were at least as enthused and joyful to see Santa.
And Mr. Ventura, I said, I don't know if you remember me. He says, of course, Jacques Rougeau, I remember you, the Rougeau brothers, And when he said that to me, it was like, holy.
And I got a chance to get to know Joe Weeder. Joe was like a second father to me. He took me under his wing. He introduced me to art. He introduced me to history.
I had a blast. I want to dance with somebody.
There we go.
I'll do it.
I do too right now, guys and gals. And
when you say
videotape, I'm gonna say it once again to all Jake's people, all them Braves fans.
Hey, y'all, appreciate y'all. You know I love you and keep rooting for them Braves.
But I was going, Tom, Don, I'm a true fan. Yo, I never watched all of your movies through, Tom, because they scared the crap out of me. Love y'all, man.
Pleasure. Great to meet you. It's great to meet you too, Trent.
Yeah, Avi, you did a great job.
John Amos.
Man, what an introduction. I hope I can live up to that. God bless you.
Last name McMahon. First name Jim. Welcome, my friend, to the second round reveal show.
Avi, always great to hear your voice, kid, and to hear your intros. You're amazing.
I welcome a power player and businessman. Last name Rosenthal. First name Steve.
Avi, you are unbelievable.
No, please.
That was one of the best introductions I've ever had in my entire life. It was better than my bar mitzvah.
Welcome this man, last name Davidson, first name Tommy.
Nice. I think that's the best intro I've ever had.
Oh, I appreciate that, my friend.
Grab your mommy. Here's Tommy.
Did you have a nice time tonight in the green room?
I had a great time. I can't tell you how refreshing it is that somebody knows what they're doing.
Avi is a poet, but he doesn't know it, but his feet show it. You're unbelievable.
$15,000, trip for 2 to Greece, winning it all, competitive juices. Are they all there, Joe?
Man, the competitive juices don't stop.
Robert, would you like to win this entire tournament?
You know, all those luminaries and athletes and strongmen notwithstanding, the most dangerous place on this show is between me and that prize. That's all I'm going to say.
You get a chance.
I am here to destroy people, to win. Put up the rhymes that make things say that be so kind, and then hit you in the butt, because I'm ready to win this all. It's all about me going to Greece with my wife and my family and having a great time. Let's win this. Let's win this.
Oh, you here to win the whole darn tournament?
I don't play. I just win.
You're chomping at the bit to get in this thing.
Oh yeah, man. I've been telling you, brother. You brought up some names to me, and I was like, I can't wait. I hope they don't see me, because it's gonna be on like a steaming pot of neck bones, baby. And I'm not playing.
Mike, I got to ask you the golden question. Are you here to win the entire thing, my friend?
I'll just say this, Avi. Winner, chicken dinner.
But are you here to win the entire celebrity tournament when it's all said and done?
I saw a very familiar face in Mike Rotundo, better known as IRS, and he said that he was here for the winner, chicken dinner. And I want to take away that chicken dinner, so yes, I want to win this whole shebang.
First name Joe Smith. Welcome, my friend.
Oh my God, Avi. Where did you get all of that from? Oh my God.
Welcome, Green Room Nation, to another Saturday night. It's Saturday night, it's past 8 p.m., so you know what time it is. It's time for another three-way competition. 2 move on, 1 go home. Who is it tonight? Well, we actually know one of them, WWE Hall of Famer Stevie Ray, but the other 2 competitors are a mystery. Put in your guesses. We've got some clues for you. Mystery competitor number 1. The mystery clues are coach and broadcast. Mystery competitor number 2. The clues are writer and video store. These are some interesting clues for what are sure to be some interesting competitors. Put your guesses in now or in the comments. Who do I think it's going to be? I think I'll just wait and see.
Hi everyone, Miranda here, and we have another insane triple threat 11th hour matchup for you guys tonight on the TKN tournament on the green room. Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this one. There's going to be 3 competitors, 2 mystery competitors, and Stevie Ray, who is a WWE Hall of Famer and an absolute force to be reckoned with. And I'm thinking that the mystery competitors, with my research and Avi's tips, are going to be Lenny Wilkins, who we've seen on the green room before, and he is awesome, and Kevin Smith from Clerks. Oh my gosh, imagine this type of triple threat. I hope I'm right. I'm thinking that the top vote getter is going to be Stevie Ray, because this man is, like I said, in it to win it, an absolute force. He has so much knowledge in his arsenal. He has so many different facts about history, about sports. He's really passionate, you guys. We've seen him in action already, and he's going to take the cake. So tune in. I'm so excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for tonight's awesome 11th hour match? We all know Stevie Ray's involved, but who are his opponents going to be? Well, we have a chance to win $400 if we can get them right. So here is contestant number 1 and their hint, and it is writer, and it is also video store. My pick is going to be Jeff Anderson. Contestant number 2, their hint is coach and broadcast. I think that's going to be Mike Ditka. Now here's the hard part. Who's going to walk away with it all? 2 out of 3 move on, 1 go home. I think Stevie Ray, he's got my top pick. And if I'm right with my picks, I think Jeff Anderson will come in second, and Mike Ditka, he'll be going home if they're the 2 that are in it. Either way, let's hope I'm right on these predictions, and we'll see you all tonight.
Hello, TKN fam. Tonight is going to be an amazing night because we finally have the official green room debating debut of Stevie Ray. He's going to be taking on 2 mystery opponents. One mystery opponent clue is coach and broadcast. Mystery opponent 2, the clue is writer and video store. Now I got a feeling I know who that is, so I am going to say mystery opponent 2 is going to move on, but I'm going to say Stevie Ray is getting the top vote get because that man has come to win and come to slay. I've seen him in action. He ain't no slouch. That is my predictions. 2 move on, 1 goes home. Tonight is going to be amazing. Take it easy.
Damas y caballeros, I am coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York City, Bushwick. What is up tonight, guys? I am excited because what we have in store for you revolves around 2 words, mystery and intrigue. That's right, we got 2 mystery opponents coming up tonight, baby. 2 mystery competitors who will be going up against another amazing individual by the name of WWE Hall of Famer Stevie Ray. Guys, I had the distinct pleasure and honor of going up against this man in the black box, and let me tell you guys, you look at his eyes, he is locked. He is locked in. He's going to give you precision-like analysis and assessment. So he is a heavy hitter. I think we've just seen we only seen a tip of the iceberg when it comes to Stevie Ray. So, but he has 2 competitors that I don't know. I don't even know who these guys are. However, we do have some clues. What are those clues? Well, for the first competitor, 2 of the clues are, I'll tell you right now, we got coach and broadcast, okay? My guess, I'm just going to throw this out there, Vince Russo. I could be so wrong, but we'll see. We'll be finding out soon enough. And for the second mystery competitor, we have writer and video store. I don't know. For that individual, I do not know who that could be. I'm actually clueless at the moment. But that said, my pick, I'm going to go with Stevie. I think Stevie is going to come in intellectual guns blazing. And I think he's also going to be challenging. He's going to be challenging those two mystery components. So Stevie will definitely take it. I don't know who the other two opponents are, but we'll find out tonight. And then again, 2 out of the 3 will advance, guys. So the stakes couldn't be any higher. I'm excited. Pa'lante y con fuego, mi gente. Let's do it.
There are those of us who like to venture to the unexplored, to see the beauty in the strange and unknown. Those of us who go out there with a sense of wonder. It's the magic of risking everything for a dream that nobody sees but you.
Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the shadow of the shade. Yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me, unafraid. God, it matters not how straight the gate, how punishment charged the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
I have to remind myself that some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. And when they fly away, the part of you that knows it was a sin to lock them up does rejoice. Let me tell you about a voice. The one that whispers. It tells me what's right and what's not, when to leave and where to go. It's not Shakespeare. It does not speak in memorable lines. My inner voice always gives it to me straight. Tells me who my real friends are, when to say yes, when to say no. Whether the person sitting next to me is the one I'll be spending the rest of my life with.
You already know that dedication, hard work, and perseverance gives positive results. Let your instincts guide you.
Your 15 minutes are up. You better start thinking of something else. What else to do? What do I want to do? I picked a day that I was going to go to the Taxi and Limousine Commission to try and get my license. And the day before I decided to go, I got a call from my agent. Paul Newman is casting, wants to see you. Getting a job is like having money in your pocket. If you got it, you can get it. Strangely enough, So this was in September. By October, I had a TV job, an off-Broadway show. I was directing a play, and I was going to be in January going to do this movie. It was called Harry and Sons. Go figure. What would you do if you weren't an actor? If you didn't make it as an actor, what would you do? I have no idea. I would act somewhere, because I'll die if I don't.
David Tank Abbott and Teddy Long move on officially to round number 3.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 always move on. Teddy and Tank have moved on.
Moving on to round number 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament are none other than Richard Klein and Cindy Pickett. They will both be in round number 3.
And also with 20 votes, Mr. Eddie Johnson and Stephen Tobolowsky will move on to round 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament soon, and congrats on moving on round number 2.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah!
Let's do it. With 20 votes and moving on to round number 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament, DC Glenn will be in round number 3, guys, of the tournament with 15 votes. Pete Babcock will move on to round 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament. Guys and gals, in round number 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament, please give it up for B. Brian Blair, Larry Zabisco, and Miles Avery, Howard Giselle. Let's give it up to them in the back as well. Clinton, are you here to win the entire shebang, my friend?
Of course, nobody gets into a competition to lose.
Peace, are you here to win it all, my friend?
I am absolutely here to win it all. As everyone in this tournament, their resume says they are winners. Well, somebody's got to be the ultimate winner of this tournament.
Our top vote getter with 35. David Justice for sure will be in round number 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament. Are you here to win the entire tournament, my friend?
Oh, yeah. You know that. I mean, like I told you, man, that's all I do is win championships.
Both Matt Fink and Jeremy London will advance to round 3 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament. Man, oh man, they are going on to round number 3. Advancing to round number 3 officially are Rob Van Dam, Joe Smith, and Jamie Sparling. They will all be in the 3rd round of the TKN Celebrity Tournament. It's getting hot over here in this tournament, though. Peace and harmony. I don't know, man. Joe, we got 15.
But you know what? You know what? But when it comes to this, round for round, they going down, Avi.
Ooh,
round for round, they going down.
I like that. Round for round, going down, guys.
Hi, I'm Rick Barry, a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame and one of the NBA's top 50 players. And I'm really excited to tell you about my new relationship in the broadcasting world with the new network.
It's TKN, and a young man named Avi Klein has poured his blood, sweat, and tears into creating this new network and assembling an amazing group of individuals to co-host shows with him throughout the network, covering everything you can imagine. He's assembled artists, authors, film entertainers.
Legends from every walk of life who are just bringing their knowledge and their experience and their wisdom, and this is amazing. Like in a day and age when our airwaves are just completely oversaturated with false narratives, with social media futility, with craziness, Avi just is I feel like this is a cosmic convergence of what is most important to him, and he's such a stand-up guy.
Here, but with a very warm heart for Avi and thanking him for all the work he's put into creating the new network. For me, I have just a teeny part of this in terms of having a program that's based on storytelling, where I get to share some of my stories with you.
I can't even imagine how hard Avi Klein works. He tells me he gets 4 hours of sleep a day, and I actually believe that because Avi is so passionate, he works so hard, and
tune into Avi's network because there's a lot of jewels that we're going to uncover.
There is nothing that was on TV tonight that even remotely rivals what we did on this broadcast.
And I really thank your support. I lost my father, and you were the first person to support me in all that, and I thank you so much for that.
I am so grateful for our friendship, and you know what? You appreciate things in people that make such a difference. You make each of us feel like we're more than we know how to even thank you. Anyway.
It's very respectful, and he really connects with the artists and his audiences, and I felt like this guy's on to something, and I'm proud to be a part of this with him.
Avi, congratulations. I don't know anybody that can talk as much as you. Seriously, I thought I could talk. You are unreal. But you do it with class, understanding, professionalism. You're simply amazing. I told you that when I first met you. And you ran off my autobiography. It basically was a book. It was simply fantastic. And to think that you do that every show.
The greatest wealth is when you can share it with someone. You can share your victories, you can share your failure, you can express your deepest feelings, but the greatest wealth is to be able to say that I have a friend. And I feel an unbelievable level of wealth. And a lot of that is because I have somebody like you.
I don't take this man for granted as a friend. I don't take him for granted as a brother. And I will say that because who knows what tomorrow brings. And I appreciate you for who you are, Del, wholeheartedly. The floor is yours solo.
Well, thank you, Avi. I appreciate that, and the feeling's mutual. I appreciate you for who you are.
I just think it's going to be, a lot of fun for people. I don't think people like this on the air. I don't think really. No, there isn't. I just think it's going to be I'm very interested in how people respond to it. Because I know it's going to be interesting and see if people tune in and stay tuned in. And I really hope they do. And I'm all yours, bro. Let's go out and make this work. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
For being you, my friend. I appreciate you and respect you wholeheartedly.
And that goes double for me to you, Avi.
Love you, Dad. Love you so much. You gave me everything that I have right now. And guys and gals, what we have right now is one hell of a show. It's the 11th hour. Industrial-sized air conditioners at your favorite B&B in Alaska would be rendered obsolete after witnessing that intro because we're all fired up. That much is a fact. You've all experienced luminary after luminary. Enter this virtual arena. Indeed, this tournament is quite stacked. I dub this vision of mine edutainment because I place emphasis on entertainment and education. Because on this station, we celebrate those that are passionate about their vocation. And this format is anything but the same old, so I thank you for embracing the innovation.
and expressing your constant elation when taking in the most star-studded tournament of all, a place where competitors convey their level of admiration while we marvel at the information, passion, and perspiration when observing this wide array of talent that make up the population of strong-minded thinkers that enlighten us, which is why I subscribe to conversation, because listening and applying is how we get to our destination. We're all so much closer than we are apart, which is why this show offers a demonstration about what's right about us as a society. So for the new viewers out there who have a fascination, sit back and enjoy as I put a cap on this verbal dissertation. Let's keep doing what we do and realize that our motto isn't some Sherlock Holmes mystery. A legendary director of Superman fame, my mentor, told me years ago, write your own history. Teaching history and screenwriting for the very best was one thing, but sharing your history is an honor. That mentor lives in my heart daily. His name was Richard Donner. So let's sit back and realize what we've witnessed here in this tournament oh so grand, where 131 Hall of Famers and Hollywood Award winners nominees own this land as we discover and rediscover our humanity through open dialogue and expand. So be prepared to give a hand to competitors that are about to work their sweat gland, all the while our attention they command. 15 grand. And a 5-day and 5-night trip to Greece on the line, one can't forget about the pride and the prize. So with that, let's all rise and reprise our roles as educational voyeurs that never chastise or agonize, but rather revel in our beautiful reality without needing a disguise. Here on this network, we're all allergic to lies. The bard William Shakespeare once said, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves." So if you love something, then don't hate others that do, because doing is the sweet nectar that is most rewarding. Take a moment to breathe, admire your desire to aspire, because if you don't, life will be but a blur. Of this I'm sure, so never hate the flower for starting out as a seed. Long distance running is essential. This isn't some stampede. Don't run anyone over on your way to the top. Focus on yourself and never forget to cheerlead. Root for your loved ones and lift people up. This human fortune cookie hopes that we've all agreed that positivity is something we can never concede. So with that, I want to bring in our first celebrity judge and then bring in Mr. Stevie Ray. Yes, you've all been waiting for him and his two mystery opponents. Let's bring in the mystery judge right now. He is one of a few judges we have backstage ready. He's also in this tournament, guys and gals. He's also someone that all of you have been waiting to see participate in round two. Guys, one of the judges tonight has been responsible for many a hearts and smiles, as his heart is huge. The word Bahumbug never might have been heard if he crossed paths with Ebenezer Scrooge. As a child, he was a left fielder in Little League Baseball, and as a young adult, he went for basic training in the Army, where he stayed for 2 years. But Lorenzo and Hoops left the Army, so he was about to switch gears. Soon the roar of the crowd would be ever present when he walked the aisle as the arena was engulfed in cheers and jeers. He and his brother Ed cheer superstar Billy Graham, and one night Billy picked him out from the crowd. 4-time Super Bowl champion Matt Millen was both he and his partner's mentor and helped pave the way. After communicating with George Steele, he and his partner were told Minnesota was the place to stay. One night in the mid-'80s, as Janet Jackson's hit Nasty was a hit sensation, Vern Gagne's daughter, Donna, dubbed he and his partner just that. I hear all of you chanting and enjoying this chat. It's no longer wondering who's that. This man that never stands pat, he's a former hardcore champ who isn't afraid of tables, chairs, and a baseball bat. 14 times this man has won tag titles, including the big three, WCW, AWA, and WWE. He's here to eliminate them all. Will he do that, guys and gals, as they go back to their jobs? One thing is for sure, we're about to stand on our feet as we welcome a legend and good friend. First name Brian, last name Nubs. Welcome, Brian, as our celebrity judge tonight, my friend.
Avi, it's great to talk to you again. This show is awesome. I love it. I can't wait. And thank you for making me the special judge tonight. I am excited. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to judge honestly. And I'm stoked, dude. I'm ready to get nasty.
You're ready.
I'm telling you, let's get this thing started, baby.
Let's go. First question for you. Is it a criteria? Is one of the criteria for some of these individuals? We have 131. As you know, you're part of them. We got 131 Hall of Famers for the world sports, music, pro wrestling, not to mention Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy, Golden Globe, AMA, WGA, and Olympians all competing for the pride of the prize, but it's not merely the size. Do you have to get nasty to win this thing? Do you have to be a resident of Nastyville to be able to win this tournament?
Well, you got to get just plain nasty. Yes, you have to have a little bit of nasty. And I know the guest guy everybody knows is Stevie Ray, and me and Sag against him and his brother Harlem Heat. We had many a fights, and I hated that SOB. But I won't be biased tonight, I swear.
No, I
won't be biased. I'm just wanting to know who the mystery, other players are.
Talk of the town. Everybody's asking who the mystery people are. Talk of the town, Brian.
Yeah, well, hey, man, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to judge honestly and give my honest opinion of who does the best, because this show is fantastic and you created it. You're a genius, and I can tell you, thank you again, my friend.
Love you, brother, and guys and gals and pals. A huge support from Brian, as of course my dad was going through what he was. Appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate, guys and gals, the fact that Brian Knobs' second round matchup is also coming up. We're seeing him right here in the flesh. He has an announcement, so do I, after the match. But I'm going to put you backstage momentarily, my friend.
No problem at all. I'll be sitting, watching, and judging, and I'll see who is the real champion. But I'll tell you, I know that Stevie Ray can hit hard, and he knows how to talk. It's like he said.
You are right about that.
Oh yeah, one of his sayings was on the neck bone. He used to say that to us all the time. I had so many stories, but I'm telling you, him and his brother are true champions and true Hall of Famers, and I appreciate what they went through and everything. So, man, I'm really stoked to be a judge, and I'm honored, humbled, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, my brother. Guys and gals, Brian Knobs, who, again, Hall of Fame human being. There's no doubt about it. This man has seen it all, traveled everywhere. And, of course, guys and gals, one of the legends in the industry of pro wrestling. Nice to see you, Jamie, as well. I'll try to bring up some of these comments as well, because you guys are the engine that makes this thing go, as you know. Yes, Brian Knobs making a pit stop on the way to round number 2. Like that comment there from Larry. Nastyville is in the house. Guys and gals, speaking of being in the house, right now we're bringing in a man who we already know is going to be in this matchup, because it's no mystery, guys and gals, that this man and I used to host a show called Wrestling with History. This man, guys and gals, is Stevie Ray, but he's going to get the introduction that he deserves. Guys and gals and pals, a champion is afraid of losing. Everyone else is afraid of winning. When witnessing the following human and the gems and the qualities that he has, they're quite plentiful and generous. One can't help but be amazed. You see, as I used to remind my students, there are 4 types of generosity: giving material aid, giving teachings and advice, providing protection from fear, and finally giving love. What do you know? This man checks off all the boxes, as he provides everything I just listed in abundance. He also so happens to be a man we can all learn from, as his insightful pearls of wisdom and in-depth analysis make him one of a kind. It's always of paramount importance to know that the information we have is not planted, false, or a product of deception. He and I have been going several layers of magnitude deep when it comes to the ladder for 7 years. He's a Hall of Famer, but he's also a big brother. One of my best friends and a man that is eyeing the prize in this tournament oh so grand. This tournament is truly a sport of the mind. That's what this tournament is, guys and gals and pals. A sport of the mind. Edutainment personified. And he doesn't mind showing you his mind, as he is yet on another quest for excellence. Guys and gals and pals, in case you didn't know, and of course you already do because you got the memo, this is Stevie Ray.
Stop and think carefully what we're talking about. All of history has been controlled by powerful figures. Disraeli in the 19th century said, for those people who are not aware of it, if they realize what goes on behind government, they wouldn't believe it. Sun Tzu, the Chinese emperor, said the same thing back in his period. Buckminster Fuller goes back 2,000 years talking about the elite. And in this country today, we recognize the power behind, let's say, lobbyists who are, in a sense, above the government in that they pay special money to the president to get him reelected. They pay special money to senators and congressmen to get them reelected, but to influence legislation in their favor. And there is and has been throughout history an elite that runs countries and the world.
Religion has turned into what? Corporations, just like everything, just like College Howard was talking about. Now, I'm not talking down on religion. I'm just talking about how religion, when I was coming up as a kid, how I looked at the church in my community, how it helped everyone. People could always go to the church when they had bad times, and those people, church members, would do everything they could to help people come up when things were down. Well, the other question too, you know, the question about logic, you know,
sure,
and those are very thought-provoking questions, and you would have to really have a little insight on politics to answer that political question with any kind of authority.
Stevie Ray, my friend, I'm bringing you in right now with a little bit of pomp and a little bit of circumstance, my friend. But guess what? Are you pumped? I just want to know if you're pumped. That had to have gotten you pumped. You saw that narration? You know that man is wise, just like you, my friend. I know you're pumped. Get ready to get more pumped up, guys and gals, because you're looking at a man who lives up to the hype, guys and gals and pals. Theodore Roosevelt twice said, "Believe you can, and you're halfway there." I concur. I believe in this man, this friend, and everything he stands for. He's down to earth. He's a gentleman, and I'm privy to the fact that rare human beings are those you cherish most. Very soon, he'll be an official co-host. To this, I toast. And forgive me, but maybe I'll even boast, because we're going to tackle what's important today. So as he is about to make his way, let us all listen to what he has to say and respect the message that he will always convey. He subscribes to loyalty over royalty, as wealth is not something you can buy. Trying to outwit and outsmart him? Give it a try. But your truth, dissected by him, will turn into a lie. From day number one, he's not only been an ally, but a man I owe a lot to, because he's a man that stays grounded, even though he can fly. Yes, he has soared, guys and gals and pals, to heights all of us can only dream of, yet his reality is much more fulfilling than anything the Sandman can sprinkle. His wholehearted and genuine sentiments can inspire anyone, even a lazy old Rip Van Winkle. He's a WWE Hall of Famer, 9-time WCW Tag Team Champion, TV Champion, podcast host, speaker, and a man that helps those less fortunate kids who yearn to learn. Because his wealth and knowledge is like an intellectual buffet. So sit back and enjoy your dinner. Maybe it's a filet or a creme brulee or perhaps some other entree. He fills a blank canvas with beautiful works of art such as black and white, but he explores the gray. For 7 years, his intellectual prowess and friendship are more valuable than some payday. He will educate you on the real history. There's no mystery. When it comes to his wisdom, take it in like a Broadway play, because it has more layers than a mid-90s lyrics from one Dr. Dre. So let's bid adieu to these rhymes tonight, as they will now go away, as we put our hands together for a legend of a human being and dear friend. First name Stevie, last name Ray. Welcome officially to the tournament, my good friend.
What is going on, brother? Hey, man, I got to tell you something.
Yes, sir.
You know what I didn't expect? L. Fletcher Prouty narrator.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brother, you got me on that one, brother. You got me on that one. And a lot of people don't know exactly what we're talking about, but
no,
I really appreciate that. I really
do. Of course, my friend.
Thank you very, very much, man. Thank you very, very much.
No doubt about it. You deserve it, because, hey, guys, when Stevie speaks, we need to listen. I listen. Look, you know this, man. You don't need to dub me the professor. You're the real professor over here. You've educated me every step of the way. I yearn to learn every day. The best thing an educator could do is listen. And listening to you tonight, guys and gals and pals, if you're listening to this man over here, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to learn more than a thing or two about a thing or two. You're going to learn a lot about a lot. That's what Stevie Ray brings. And my friend, I could see that look, the eye of the tiger. You are ready to go for this thing. You're chomping at the bit. Am I right?
Brother, it is on like a steaming pot of neck bones. That's what Brian Knobs was actually trying to say, but I'm going to say it for him. Brian Knobs, it is on like a steaming pot of neck bones, baby. And that means let's get it going, bro.
Let's get it going. Stevie, I got to ask the question. You know, again, we got the suits and ties that watch the show. You know, those who now all of a sudden want to be yours truly's best friends. They believe in the show. They see where it's skyrocketing. But hey, at the end of the day, 15 grand, 5-day trip to Greece. I got to ask them for the new viewers. Are you here to win the whole shebang, my friend?
Oh. What?
I know.
Brother,
I know.
I don't show up just for the hell of it. I show up to beat them up.
Ooh. Ooh. And you're not flinching. And you're not blinking.
Dig it?
I can dig it, my friend.
I show up to beat them up.
Wow. You ready to go? A sport of the mind, guys and gals. And Stevie doesn't mind doing what he just said. Guys and gals, but I tell you, the two mystery opponents, you don't know who they are, Stevie. No one knows who they are. Yeah. But man, oh man, I got to tell you, very qualified individuals, people you know well, very intelligent minds who are going to challenge you unless there's a tie. And I got to break this down a little bit just so our new viewers understand. It's an 11th hour matchup. Round 2, as the intro demonstrated oh so well, round 2's already begun, which means that half the field already, guys and gals, is still waiting to compete. But we have some people in round number 3 already. This is an 11th hour match. If you win, you get inserted into a match that's already been essentially booked for round 2. It becomes a triple threat or a 4-way. If there's a tie in this 11th hour match, all 3 advance, but there are no ties in round 2. As you've seen, the great Jason London's already been eliminated, Ryan Cabrera, Clinton Portis, a lot of big names have already been eliminated. Essentially, if you win this match, Stevie Ray, you're going to be in round number 2. It might be in a month, might be in a week, might be in 3 months. Who knows which matchup? I don't really think you care, because whether it's, again, Rick Mahorn, who's had a lot to say, whether it's a Mark Henry, whether it's some of the big luminaries we have for the world of film and TV, it doesn't matter who's in your way. Stevie Ray, am I right?
Rick Mahorn. I'm tired of him putting my name in his mouth.
He did last week again.
Hey, I'm tired of Rick Mahorn. That's all I'm going to say about it.
He's got Cheryl Swoops in round number 2. We'll see how he does against Cheryl, guys and gals and pals. But maybe Stevie could be inserted in that match if he wins tonight. Who knows how it's going to go down? My friend, I'm going to put you backstage. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. Your thoughts? He doesn't want to deal with that right now. I'm going to put this legend of a human being and man and professional and mind, guys and gals, backstage for a moment. Just for a moment. You guys know I saw your comments. You guys are already predicting Stevie's going to win the whole tournament out of all 131 luminaries. That could very well happen. Guys, I want to bring in somebody who could win this thing as well, because, man, oh, man, he is definitely already won me over. Not that that's his intent. He's just real, but he resonates. You could tell he's already become a fast friend. A great broadcaster coaches their voice and needs to be able to listen. Your best questions can oftentimes come as a result of your guest responses. Only then shall you truly glisten. Booker T. Washington said, if you want to lift yourself up, lift someone else up. Jimmy Carter said, we must adjust to changing times and still hold to unchanging principles. Yours truly, Avi Klein, concurs. Our second participant tonight is a wealth of knowledge. The following individual is a man that I deeply respect and admire. He always brings the fire, wire to wire, as his heart will always aspire to embrace positivity and through eternal essence of who he is. Yet, guys and gals and pals, he will always bring the best, because that's just who he is as well. With zero doubt and dismay, we are smitten. His knowledge and gifts are the best books that have yet to be written. He reminds us that the best race hasn't been run. The best score hasn't been made yet. The best song hasn't been sung. Cheer up, for the world is young. He reminds us that the world is just eager for things that we ought to create. Our store of true wealth is still meager. Guys and gals and pals, the best house can be planned, and the mightiest river might be spanned. His heart greets the masses oh so pleasantly. He reminds us that hardships often prepare ordinary people for extraordinary destiny. Our glory may be fleeting, but obscurity is forever. This is why words such as can't or won't are his never ever. Are accidents choices, or are they simply nothing more than fate misnamed? These are the thought-provoking questions that he isn't ashamed to challenge, because conventional wisdom can always be framed, not solely due to what shadowy figures have proclaimed. His kind heart is the gardens, while his kind thoughts are the roots. His kind words are the blossoms, while his kind deeds are the fruits. His genuine nature is the sunshine that warms into life. He's an incredibly intelligent human being, and he's a huge part of this exclusive field. His passion is always on display, as it's something that can never be concealed. So for the bevy of talent in this tournament, take notice tonight and take heed. His mind is ever so bright, and his heart is gold. He's always been there for those in need. He has 2 children, JJ and Kayana. JJ is a competitive golfer, and his goal is to make the PGA Tour. He must have his father's heart and spirit, as that man has a lion's roar. When broadcasting golf, it's anything but a bore. His enthusiasm ensures that we never snore. He is on a mission like an ozone-laying, saving mid-2000s Al Gore. Except his mission isn't political. It is quite humane. I experienced fully as he consoled me when my father passed away and helped ease the pain. You see, the most giving man he ever knew, his father, was told that he wouldn't live without a heart transplant. On a particular Thursday, he received a new heart because he didn't subscribe to the word can't. He headed into 2019 with a newfound appreciation for each day and each breath we take in our limited time. That's because things in life can turn on a dime. His father was a United Methodist pastor, and our participant was quite the athlete. McPherson College were in for quite the treat, as for 4 years he played for Coach Trimmel and the men's basketball team, as he was quite immune to defeat. He led her not once but twice, but thrice, and was named all KCAC first team member 3 times and the conference's player of the year twice. He also earned, guys and gals and pals, a pair of NAIA honors during his time at McPherson. After his sophomore season, he was committed, passionate, and talented. Do I even need to provide a singular reason? He was named to the NAIA All-District 10 first team, and then during his senior year, he earned the NAIA D2 Player of the Week award. He would still explore other interests with curiosity and gusto like a late 70s Harrison Ford. At the time of his graduation, he held McPherson College records for points scored, total rebounds, assists, And currently, he ranks third in career scoring with 1,782. So there's no doubt that Jay Shuttleworth would agree this man had game, which is why in 2015, along with Coach Trammell, he was inducted into the McPherson Hall of Fame. Broadcasting and journalism were next. And what a career he would carve out. He did it with class, dignity, and honor. He never needed to scream, shout, or even pout. He was on local TV, Channel 9 in Kansas City, but in August of 99, it was evident that he was set to work for the WWF. It wasn't all glitz and glamour, as some may assume. Forget the parties or swinging times at the mansion with Hef. This man worked hard, and in his 20s, he actually worked the pre-tape room. One would assume that he had such talent even since coming out of the womb, but it was no more of a vacuum, because talents like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, helped him bloom. Hosting Raw, wrestling in the ring, managing talent on air. This man was truly a jack of all trades. Trying to pinpoint one singular accomplishment of his was like wrestling a gator in the Everglades. It gets even better, as he was first in the WWE to cross over and work for ESPN as he opened a new door. He did SportsCenter for 10 long years, and the late, great Stuart Scott was a mentor. He was an NBC play-by-play announcer and a commentator for the PGA Tour live. Up next was CBS Sports, where his legendary voice and talented continued to thrive. Man, this is so much fun, guys, and void of any jive. He has also voiced characters in the video game Black College Football Experience, the Doug Williams edition, Madden NFL 2019, Madden NFL 2020, Madden NFL 2021, and 24. The man is always on the go, but I respect his approach. Most of you know him as the one and only coach. Is it time to get elated? I think so. Prepare thyself to grin. They know his name from Jersey to Berlin. His range is vast, like Arnold playing a twin. He's here to win this tournament, much to no one's chagrin. His opponents are prepared like Spidey before a brawl with the kingpin. So put your hands together for a fun, kind, honest, sincere, humble, talented, intelligent human being. Last name Coachman, first name Jonathan. Welcome to the tournament, my friend.
I've got 3 letters for you, Mr. Avi. First of all, thank you for that incredible, although be it long, introduction. R-I-B, rib. If I have to have my future based off of Brian Knobs even being awake when this damn thing is over, then I don't even know if I want to continue on. But I know this, obviously, that going up against Stevie Ray and our other mystery opponent, somebody mentioned cake. It's going to be a cake walk for your boy tonight. So for me to get serious, these comes off, and I'll let you take care of the other mystery opponent. But I'm set to get going. Enough of these 53-minute intros. Let's go.
You love every minute of them. I know you do, my friend. Jonathan Coachman, guys and gals. Look at it. He's got the scowl. Guys and gals, he might growl. But Jonathan Coachman, I have to ask you the question before I bid you adieu momentarily, my friend.
Yes, sir.
15 grand. 5-day trip to Greece. Hey, man, I've been in the industry a long time. You've been in this industry a long time. Game knows game. It's not about the fame or the acclaim. Are you here to win the entire tournament, my friend?
I've already thought about it. I've got 2 kids. One is going to get that second one. I'll take the other 15 large and buy a 3rd ticket so all 3 of us are going. So I've already spent the money. It's time for me to get down to business to show everybody why I came here tonight. I feel like it's a Stevie Ray love fest. That will end momentarily.
Guys, Jonathan Coachman said the Stevie Ray Love Fest will end momentarily. We're going to see. We got judges in the back. Their votes are worth 5 points each. You guys are voting in the comments section as well. Jonathan's ready to go, guys and gals and pals. This is a pro. This man's been here before. He's here to win the whole shebang. It doesn't matter who's in front of him. Guys and gals, all he's looking to do right now is turn around and see who's behind him. I'm going to put you backstage momentarily, my friend. The great Jonathan Coachman, guys and gals, an absolute legend, broadcasting legend, jack of all trades. And speaking of jack of all trades, I hope this next man enjoys his intro as well. I really do. Because author Albert Schweitzer said the tragedy of life is what dies inside a man when he lives. This man has lived. Benjamin Franklin said an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. And I concur. Our 3rd participant is a highly intelligent and talented human being. His down-to-earth nature and authentic self is a breath of fresh air. He's broken barriers. He's worked tirelessly. And he's never let his dreams fade into obscurity. He runs the day rather than letting the day run him. He's fearless in the pursuit of what sets his soul on fire. As I always tell my students, there are no mistakes. There's only discoveries. If we do not explore, we do not discover. This man has done just that, going places that many before him never even knew existed. He grew up mainly in Farmingville, right across the street from Suffolk Community College. This was decades before his literary works and life experience granted him a bevy of knowledge. His father was old school Italian, as Papa Jim was one of 13 kids. He soon would witness millions invest themselves in his programming, unable to shut their eyelids. He went to Sachem High School before moving to Evansville to attend Indiana State University. It was there that he scratched an itch as an editor and got down to the nitty-gritty. He had a friend who was a journalism student who there helped him become and get a scholarship to go there as the assistant sports editor. Soon the world would relish his creative gifts as he was a force like Arnold on Predator. He gained invaluable experience at the school newspaper, The Shield, as he matriculated in ISUE in the fall of '79. Bro wasn't a thing back then, and it definitely wasn't born in Queens, so take that, Avi Klein. He worked his way up to becoming the paper's head editor as a senior and credits newspaper advisors Ann Humphrey and Sherry Ann Stanley for their mentorship. He credits his work ethic from working at The Shield at ISUE, says a man who always shoots straight from the hip. He found the pace of life in the Midwest much slower than his native New York, and he hustled tirelessly during his time in Evansville. While working at the student newspaper, he held 2 jobs at a work study, no time to chill or enjoy thrill. When you're eyeing the next bill, he made his dream work for him. So let me continue while you sit still. He served as the vice president of his fraternity, Sigma Tu Gamma, was a member of the student union board, and worked with Amigos, the campus welcoming committee. Can you imagine the glee? Being welcomed by a bro or 5? Was there a better time to be alive than the days where you were called out for being jive? I think not so. So let me continue the sweet nectar that must come from a beehive. During his time at ISUE, he lived briefly in Mount Vernon, Indiana, before relocating on the campus apartments. Some of you might have already figured out who this is, despite a lack of in-depth hints. While at ISUE, he met his wife, Amy, a fellow student Evansville native who attended William Henry Harrison High School. After graduating from college in '83 with a journalism degree, he married Amy, and you know what's cool? He realized that life isn't some hidden gem or jewel. He pursued what he loved rather than complain about what's cruel. He started a family that eventually grew to include 3 children and moved back to New York. He wrote a letter to Linda McMahon because you got to bring home the bacon and the pork. He got into the pro wrestling business with a self-funded radio show in 1991. The aforementioned letter landed him a job as a freelance writer for the then WWF magazine. He had confidence, ideas, and gusto. He didn't come across as clueless or green. With some life experience training at Johnny Rod's gym and 2 video stores, he wanted to see how the business side of pro wrestling worked. This goes back to the days of where the first interview he saw from Albano McMahon in the Valiants had his ears all perked. Writing his own storylines in the magazine proved that he had his finger on the pulse of society. Eventually, a frustrated Vince McMahon would decree that this man needed to be the WWF's head writer so that the product wouldn't lag behind on TV, resembling an episode of Hee Haw from 1973. He vowed that he would never allow the television viewer to laugh at or mock the product, so wrestling grew up. It became a show that intelligent people could watch, not merely geared for fans that chew tobacco and spit into a cup. His creativity and dedication to each and every character on television cannot be denied. The competition made him an offer he could not refuse as McMahon shook his head and sighed. He was simply burnt out from writing so much television, and as a writer in the studio system, I can relate, but there should be no debate. He took the pacifier away from the pro wrestling product that was in a state of arrested development. The suits and ties over in WCW should have taken his advice regarding patience, but that'll require them to have good judgment. An author, a TNA head writer, a host of an incredible array of podcasts, this man has accomplished so much, but never lost his humanity, dignity, honesty, and respect along the way. Not surprising, as his parents instilled in him the value of respect. Listen to your elders and what they say. To this day, his late grandfather remains one of his idols. When he spoke of the old days, he sat on the edge of his seat, just wanting to know everything about him that he possibly could. I can relate, as losing my father a couple of weeks ago brings my mind back to Queens and the old hood. So the time has come. Don't wince. Soak in his knowledge and feel honored like a prince. Still eating your dinner? Wash your hands and don't forget to rinse, as we welcome a man who has respect for honesty, as words are something he will not mince, as I bring in a talented, intelligent, positive, kind human being. Last name Russo, first name Vince. Welcome, my friend, to the tournament.
All right, listen, Avi, let me first say, before this show started, I was actually clean shaven, Avi. I've grown this beard during the intros and your introductions. And listen, don't soft soak me, Avi, because I'm throwing the red flag. I'm throwing a monkey wrench in this whole thing, and Avi, and I'm telling you, this is a first and has never been done before. I don't care who you've had on this show, Mark Henry, whoever. This is a first, okay? I am playing tonight's contest under protest. And
under protest.
Under protest. Number one,
okay.
Candace Owens was dangled in front of me as a participant.
She was.
But there's no Candace Owens. There's Stevie Ray.
No. Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray. Let me tell you
what the difference between a Candace Owens and a Stevie Ray.
Because I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. You know, please, a 3-hour intro, you got me all wound up over here. I told my wife I was going to be on and
You're
off
wound
in
up.
30 minutes.
You're wound up. No one. Look at the flattery I gave you. Look at the flattery. Look at the intro. Look at the pomp and circumstance. Feel the sweat come off my brow, my friend. You, my friend, are $1 million. You're ready to go. I know you are.
Avi, let me tell you a little something about Stevie Ray and what's going on here. Going on here? Number one, bro. Number one.
Going on? Go ahead.
He's got you in his hip pocket. Clear as day, number one. Number two, he has stacked the deck. Number three, he has paid people off. Let me tell everybody out there about the genius Stevie Ray. Avi, I'll tell you something you don't know about Stevie. Everybody, Stevie Ray. Do you know this man, Stevie Ray, actually idolized an animated turtle growing up? Do you know?
Peter Turtle, yes.
Do you know that Tuda Turtle is Stevie Ray's hero? So before Stevie Ray comes on here and starts spitting all this knowledge out, just know that this man idolizes an animated turtle. I am playing this game 100%.
Look, the fans are behind you. Russo rules the world.
100% under protest. Let's go.
At this. Look at the fans here. They're screaming your name. They love seeing you here. Russo, you got to sell the intro. I busted my behind, and I gave you the intro you deserve.
Avi, I gave
you the intro you deserve.
One last question for you, Avi. Who'd you ever beat? Who'd you
I
ever beat, Avi?
I beat 2 studios and 4 literary agents. That's who I beat.
Okay, all right. Well, that's
who I beat.
Right,
I beat suits and ties, my friend, and now I'm wearing theirs.
All right, that's impressive, Avi. I'll give you that.
I appreciate that. Come on.
Bring on to the turtle.
Sell the intro. Sell the intro. I can hear people chanting. Virtually, sell the intro.
Bro, I grew hair on my chest during that intro.
Sell the intro. God, I went to Indiana. For crying out loud. I brought up some of your colleagues from college, my friend. Are you kidding me right now?
Listen, the intro was okay, but Stevie still has you in his back pocket. It's clear to me. It's clear to Coach. It's clear to Knobs. It's clear to everybody watching this show.
So you're what you're talking about is chicanery. That's what you're bringing
up. New York chicanery.
Okay.
New York chicanery.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, guys and gals, this is Vince Russo, a man who gained experience at the Shield way back then in college and then took it to new heights. That's who he is. Vince Russo, guys and gals. Jonathan Coachman's on screen. Stevie Ray's on screen. And here they are for the first time. Stevie, you just found out you're up against Vince Russo and Jonathan Coachman. We're going to start now. But quick comment, Stevie Ray. Go ahead.
Firstly, let me address Vince Russo. Let me address this. Don't you come out here accusing me of any kind of collusion, okay? People know me from this show because I came on and paid my respects. Unlike you, who takes Avi's intro and put it in the dirt. That's disrespectful.
Let me tell you.
I would have expected a little bit more out of you. I would have expected a little bit more out of you. And yes.
Me too.
Don't you try to bring up Toodle Turtle. Yeah. So when I was a kid, I was a big fan of that. I do not shy away from that. Thank you very much.
You're a man who idolizes a turtle, Stevie. That's it. That sums you up in one sentence. You're gonna spit out Pootie. Who is the guy? Pootie, whoever. You idolize the turtle, Stevie. Okay, I want everybody who's voting in the back room, Knobs and everybody else. This is the guy that idolized a freaking turtle, bro.
And you got something against that?
I just want to hear. I want to hear.
The turtle was very, very educational. You leave that out. Just because it's a turtle, Vince, you can learn from anything. You should actually try it sometimes.
Guys and gals, the mind game's already ever present. Jonathan Coachman is sitting and observing. He does that really well. Stevie, nothing against Mr. Coachman, right? I'm assuming because you heard him earlier. He's ready to take this spot. He's ready to go right to the moon and back and win this whole tournament as well. So with that,
I did hear him say something, but I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
Well, we can't either because I've been standing here for an hour. But I will tell you this, Avi. I just want to make sure. There are two.
The greatest intro you had. You didn't sell the intro either, Coachman. You didn't sell the intro either.
I said thank you for the great intro.
There was no bowing. There was none of that going on.
Are you kidding me? I'm one of the
greatest
champions of all time. I bow to no one.
What?
And I'm the only person, as you said in your intro, I made history. You've got history on your show tonight. I'm the only person ever spent a decade inside the WWE, a decade at the worldwide leader, 10 years in both. Never been done before. I did it. So you're bringing it. Why would I bow to you when it's history in the making? But I just
guys and gals and pals, Jonathan Coachman. You don't have to worry about me. You got to worry about Stevie Ray and Vince Russo. Topic
wait a
number
minute.
one that I'm about. Go ahead, Stevie. Go ahead.
I'm not worried about that.
I thought Mike Adamle held that crown.
Oh.
10 years at ESPN. He's never even been at ESPN.
Hey, Steve, you got to admit something. Mr. Coachman, man, this is the first one in pro wrestling to go to ESPN, to make that something that has now become the norm. He was the first to do it, a trailblazer. So, Stevie Ray, guys and gals and pals. This is one of the straightest minds, the greatest minds I've ever witnessed in my life. Guys and gals and pals, a true educator. And then Vince Russo. Despite the fact that he's from Suffolk, Long Island, he is a man, guys and gals and playa pals, who has done everything and then some. You can't take away from this man. You know why? He had a dream and made it work for him. You could say whatever you want. All of you guys that were still sucking on your pacifiers watching pro wrestling, waiting for the product to grow up, he grew it up. He made sure the maturation process moved quicker with his great writing. So end of the day, hey, listen, I am not here. I have no vested interest whatsoever. We'll start with topic number one, unless any one of you guys has something to say.
No. Let's start with
hold
topic
on. I just want you to know, Avi, I got this going on Stevie Ray because I do a show with Stevie Ray, and he talks forever. He talks forever, and I want you to know, Avi, in 30 minutes, I got to take my bath. I got to take my bath, Avi, in 30 minutes. And if he's still on the clock in 30 minutes, Avi, I'm going to take my bath. Intro or no intro, bro. I got to take
Are you telling me right now you're going to give up Greece? You're going to give up 15 grand?
I got a 7:30 bath. I got a 7:30 bath, and I'm keeping a timer on Toodle Turtle down there, and I'm gonna play the
30-minute time limit.
I'm playing the air horn when 30
minutes.
It's not about the bath. He's got to get down to the hot tub at his place where he lives, because all of the milfs that are down there, and they're not what you think. It's the Mimos that go after him at his age. So
he's been doing this since he was 15 years old because he wants to look at reruns of Hee Haw.
That's what it is, guys. I mentioned Hee Haw earlier. Guys and gals and pals, topic number one is coming up right now.
He takes his bath before he can watch reruns of Hee Haw.
I'll say this, guys and gals. The late Carl Reiner, I wrote for this man. He was a huge fan of pro wrestling, and I think he was a huge fan of pro wrestling because these three gentlemen were part of a boom that did not insult your intelligence, nor will they tonight. So let's start off with topic number one, and I'll tell you who goes first. At any point, guys and gals and pals, when Jonathan Coachman, who's going up first, at any point, Jonathan Coachman is making his point. Vince and or Stevie, all they have to do is raise the index finger. If they want to rebut him, I will then pop up on screen, make it official. They could rebut him during his presentation or after his presentation. But topic number one is called No Mystery History. History is a treasure trove of captivating stories, guys. Remarkable events, intriguing characters. We learn about well-known historical events in school, or do we? There are countless lesser-known moments that hold equal fascination. We move through life trusting that the systems around us, the buildings we enter, the products we use, the infrastructure we rely on, they're designed to keep us safe. It's a belief that's ingrained in us that we hardly ever question, but every now and then, something happens that shatters this sense of security. American history, which is important to me, is brimming with lesser-known but still fascinating phenomena that even the most diligent historian may have forgotten. Let's explore right now what it is. Jonathan Coachman is going to start things off, and my question for him, guys and gals and pals, he will get as much time as he wants. Jonathan, please discuss a moment or event in history that has been mostly forgotten or overlooked. The floor is yours whenever you're ready to go, good sir.
All right, thank you, Avi, very much. And with all due respect to Stevie Ray and Vince Russo, let the beating begin. And I decided, as I always do, because I'm an overachiever, gentlemen, I went with not one, but two. And I went with the word overlooked. And I had to stick with two things that happened in my lifetime. I would love to go back to 1950 or 1960, but I'm not like Vince Russo. I don't remember living during those decades. So I had to go to two things that happened in the last 25 years. And the reason I picked two is because I was in the same city for both. And I'm going to go with 9/11 as my one because I feel like we don't even understand or realize the terror and the fear and all of the stuff that everybody went through back on September 11th, 2001. And we were in Houston because we had came from San Antonio the night before. We forget, except one time a year to remember all of the firemen, all of the police officers, all those that took the time that day to go in when a lot of people would have gone out, then all those in Washington, D.C., all those in Pennsylvania. And I feel like every single year we do it once and then we move on, because that's kind of how human beings do it right now. But I was also in Houston several years later when one number 8, one number 24, Kobe Bean Bryant tragically passed away just miles from where I'm sitting right now in the same city. And I remember getting ready to do the pay-per-view that day. And after I left ESPN, gone back to WWE, and we still talk about Kobe as if he is still alive. I've never seen an athlete so beloved, and after he passes away, we still tell stories as if he's still here, because a lot of people do not want to admit that he is gone. And so for some reason, I was in Houston, Texas for both. So in my lifetime, it's 9/11. We never forget, but we overlook. And then Kobe Bryant, one of the most beloved athletes of our generation. We don't forget, but sometimes we overlook the fact that he is truly gone.
Guys and gals and pals, absolutely. That was a very, very historic day and very unfortunate day. There's no doubt about that. And Jonathan, again, being on the front lines, that is something that you witnessed. That is something that you experienced. You got to know a lot of great athletes. Man, oh man, you're bringing us back to a period of time we can all recall. Do you feel as if history is going to side with the truth? Or do you feel like overall, when it comes to these stories, history is going to be nothing but a blur for those that don't necessarily buy into what we're being told by all the talking heads out there?
Now, I think it's going to be a lot more of the latter, because what happened in the WWE after 9/11, guys, is we started doing the tribute to the troops over in Afghanistan and Iraq. And I remember when I went to Afghanistan and we're walking on the big base, they stopped and they said, over there, that's where all the bad guys are. That's where all the bad guys, when we catch them, go right there. I was standing 10 or 15 feet away from that. Most people who live the day-to-day, they've never experienced it, and God willing, they never do, because what real people went through that day, I think that's part of the reason that we overlook it. I don't even want to think about me having to go through something like that, whether it's a plane crash into a building or whether it's a helicopter which was parked at the airport that I fly out of every time I fly out of Orange County and Southern California. So I think the farther we get away from both, we want to remember the good things and not the horrifying incidents of both days.
Well said, and especially if we know the truth, guys and gals and pals, and that's what Jonathan Coachman has given us. Yeah, plane crashes or even planes that might be hiding missiles, firing at towers, pretending to crash into them. Who knows, guys and gals? A different topic for a different time. Funny how air traffic control wasn't really alert at that time. A lot of things that happen, guys and gals, in this country are considered funny. But we're exploring that. We're going knee deep right now. And guys, the second individual right now in this particular matchup is Stevie Ray, who will tackle this very topic and take all the time in the world that he wants. Again, Vince and Jonathan can rebut him anytime they'd like, during or after. But I have to ask right now, do Stevie and Vince want to rebut Jonathan Coachman?
Actually, no.
Yeah, no, listen, I have all the respect in the world for Jonathan Coachman. It's Stevie I got the problem with. So listen, let the filibustering begin. I've got my stop clock. Go ahead, Mr. Avi. Let the filibustering begin. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who idolizes a turtle, Stevie Ray. Stevie.
So hold on, is this a prediction? Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me do my thing here. Let me quarterback. Are you telling me right now that you predict that Mr. Stevie Ray is going to go 30 minutes? Or are you expecting him to go 30 minutes?
Jonathan, Coach, I hope you had something to eat, bro. I hope you had something to eat, because you're about to sit here through 2 hours of filibustering. He's going to talk about Purdy for 45 minutes. Let him go. Let's go.
Guys and gals and pals, Vince is saying Stevie might go as slow as a turtle. We don't know. We know we're going to receive a lot of information from a man like Stevie because he respects clarity. Vince.
The only positive about this, Coach, here's the only positive about this, because he's got knobs in his back pocket, because God knows how many times Harlem Heat put the Nasty Boys over, right? So he's got knobs in his back pocket, but thank God, Jonathan, when Stevie goes for the next 45 minutes, Knobs is gonna be long gone sleeping, bro. He is gonna fall asleep during the Stevie Ray diatribe, and he's not even gonna matter in the voting. Go, come on, Avi, let him.
At least you have an honest moderator who has nothing vested in this match whatsoever. Guys and gals,
right.
Stevie Ray right now is going to hit us with that same topic, guys. He can go anywhere he wants. And you know what, guys? Let me bring this up as well here because Vince Russo, he's ready to time this thing. So I want to throw him off his game, not just because he's from Suffolk, but partially because he's from Suffolk. Guys and gals and pals.
Give him more time to go over what he was going to talk about anyway. So
I want to bring this up here about what Vince Russo had to say here. They host a show called Black and White. And guys, listen, if you want to watch something on the RussoBrand.com, russosbrand.com, I'm going to show you guys a graphic of it. It's russosbrand.com. That's RUSSOS brand.com. One word. You're going to get a plethora of great conversations like this. It is a brand that's hard-hitting. It's a brand that Stevie's a part of. Jonathan and Vince work together. We're talking about the stuff that Jonathan does as well. Shows like Driving the Lane, Behind the Turnbuckle, the Coach and Bro Show. Guys and gals, I'm sure Vince doesn't mind right now me going 30 or 40 minutes talking about their great programming, but I'll stop right now because it's Stevie's turn. Go ahead, Vince.
Hold on one second. Don't try to be my friend. It's way
not.
too late for that.
We're past that already. We're past that.
Listen, Jonathan Coachman, my good friend, the coach. The coach is a friend. Okay. Now, Coach is one of the best handicappers in the world, Avi, in the world. So before Stevie starts, let's have a little gentleman's wager. Let's do over or under.
Go ahead.
Okay, Coach, I'm going to let you go first. We
already know Russo's going 30. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, you are the professional handicapper. Let's use 30 minutes. Over or under, Coach. Go ahead.
Well, seeing how I want to have a life, let's say sometimes you bet with your heart, sometimes with your head. I'm betting with my heart. Under 30.
Under 30.
Under, even though my head says over, my heart says God.
And I'm sitting right here.
Okay, Avi, over or under 30?
I'm going under 30. Under 30.
Please, under 30.
Under
3.
I'm going over an hour. I'm going over an hour. Forget
why would you put that in
30 minutes. He's just warming up in the bullpen. I'm going an hour. Go.
Guys and gals, we're officially going to go. Here we go. Stevie Ray, please answer the following, my friend. Please discuss a moment or event in history that has most been forgotten or overlooked. Take all the time in the world that you'd like. The floor is yours whenever you're ready to go.
Okay. I was surprised that Jonathan brought up 9/11 because that was my topic, 9/11, but I don't look at it the same way that Coach looks at it. I look at it in this way. We overlook 9/11 and the atrocities that happened on 9/11. Why? Because so many things about 9/11 was never explained to us. So many things about 9/11 never added up. So many things about 9/11, I think the American government wants to hide on purpose. And that's why it's not as significant as it should be. When it first happened, it was a big, every year, everybody would pay their respects. Now you don't even know when people pay their respects. When the presidents used to go out to, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where they say an airplane, my government told me an airplane crashed in Shanksville. I never saw it. My government told me that an airplane crashed in the Pentagon. I never saw it. But yet we're supposed to believe what they tell us, and yet they don't even bring it up anymore. It's kind of like Vietnam. That was my two that I wanted to talk about. But since 9/11 was a little bit more recent than Vietnam, if you are a certain age right now in America, you would never know anything about Vietnam. So I'm thinking that 9/11 is slowly but surely going in that same direction. And if you look at when 9/11 happened, how so many people in the United States of America came together as one. So many people had love for each other. So many people tolerated each other. And here it is a little over 20 years later, and all of a sudden we're at each other's throats again. Over what? So that is why I say what was 9/11 actually really about? And why do they go out of their way? And nobody in mainstream media, of which, Coach, you work, brings it up anymore. And nobody has told us exactly what happened on 9/11. That is what I have a problem with when I talk about 9/11. Because, like I said, at the rate it's going, it'll be just like Vietnam in another 20 years. And I think that is a travesty. I think that is a travesty. What did those people in those buildings die for? Does anybody ever bring up that the United States go and attack a sovereign country and say they had something to do with 9/11? They have weapons of mass destruction, and over 1.5 million people in that country is dead, and don't nobody say nothing? Don't nobody say nothing? How would someone in a country like the United States of America wake up one day and your house is blown up and your little child head is blown off right in front of your face and you don't even know why? Nobody even addresses it. Because when we, as the United States of America, are afraid of something, we'll go along with whatever the government wants to do because they told you to be afraid. Here it is 20-some years later. Who are we afraid of now? Now you got either you're afraid of a Democrat or you're afraid of a Republican or you're afraid. Who needs this? We're being lured into what? I don't like the hate. I don't like somebody telling me who to dislike. But if you're going to string me along like a puppet, give me something. I'm not just going to go along to get along. So when it comes to 9/11, that's what I got a problem with. Nobody ever said anything about going to Afghanistan, looking for one guy with a military. That's more of a policing type thing. Come to find out, he was never there anyway. And you're telling me you don't know that? The Pentagon, the military, a few weeks ago, Avi asked a question about the military budget between 3 combatants. And they all gave their diatribes on the military budget. But how can you have a budget in the United States of America that's more than the next 17, 18 industrial companies put together, and then you tell me 19 guys snuck in this country and didn't nobody know nothing? And hijack airplanes, no distress signals, no nothing. With that kind of budget. And the pilots that were so-called flying the airplanes were military trained, yet they don't even try to fight back. And I'm supposed to believe this as a conscientious man that knows my history. I'm not buying it. I never will buy it until somebody brings it to the forefront. And please let us know exactly what happened. And I know it's never going to happen, but that's why slowly but surely, they're putting it out of our minds, just like Vietnam. And in a few years, maybe 10, 15 years, it'll be like it never, ever happened. That is my problem with something as catastrophic as 9/11.
I want to know one thing. And I was kind of bantering after Coachman was, of course, giving us a lot of his knowledge and really going deep as well, as Stevie just did. I want to know how these two towers, and I always talk about this. You know what? Yeah, when I taught history, I wasn't allowed to teach the real history. But our youth are the ones who are going to make history their present. You tell me how the World Trade Center buildings were tested against Boeing 707s, which were bigger than the planes that actually hit the towers. Explain that to me for a second. Explain to me how, if you think about false flag operations that we've had in this country, Gulf of Tonkin, yes, 9/11, etc., they all started because of a effing lie. A lie. We were deceived. And yet we still believe that because it's our patriotic duty to go ahead and adhere to whatever our military or our CIA tells us, we can't have it both ways. How can you trust your military and CIA when those same military and CIA killed a president that has been so beloved over the years, has been considered one of the most beloved presidents of all time in any country, and that's JFK. Bay of Pigs, 1961. What a farce. The Cuban refugees were supposed to be trained by our military. JFK was told. They weren't. They were slaughtered. They were cab drivers. They were doctors. They were lawyers. And from that moment, he denounced the military-industrial complex. And little by little, his lifespan was shortened as a result. And we're going to trust and believe everything that we were told about 9/11 simply because it brought us all together? How long did that last? For a cup of coffee?
Yes.
So you know what? To answer what Vince asked me earlier, who did I beat? Nobody. I'm glad I didn't. Because if I beat anybody of significance in this country, I probably would be dead. Guys and gals and pals, I'm going to kick it over to Mr. Vince Russo right now, unless Jonathan or Vince have a rebuttal.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. Mr. Russo, same question for you, good sir. Please discuss a moment or event in history that has been mostly forgotten or overlooked. The floor is yours whenever you're ready to go, good sir.
This is why they call me the underdog. What has been forgotten or overlooked? Perhaps the greatest day in the history of human life. Look at Stevie sitting there waiting on my every. What about the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ? What about that, Stevie? What about Jesus Christ is up there in heaven, man, sitting on the throne, the right hand of his Father, loving life. He's got it all. Loving life. It all going up there. And he's looking down and he's seeing this mess that we created. This hell on earth that you two are speaking of, that we created. And what did he say? What did he say? God said, son, I'm sending you down there. I'm taking you off the throne. Put those fruits down. Put down that ice cream sundae. I'm sending you down to get my house in order. And what did Jesus do? Jonathan, what did Jesus do? He came down, and here's a wrestling term the two of you might understand. What did he do, Stevie? He tried to smarten us all up.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to tell us, brothers, sisters, and even you, Stevie Ray, this is how you're supposed to live your life. This is why I created you. I created you to be great. I created you with these gifts to do a job to glorify me. That's why you're here. You are here to do great things. We are not here to kill each other. We are here to love you. Don't count me down. Take that off the board. Don't count me down. The birth of Jesus Christ will go down as the most forgotten. Why am I getting a cat? Hey, Avi.
I don't know.
Get you with me over here, Avi.
There's some tech issues here we're having. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to get down to the bottom of this. I'm going to try to get to the bottom of this, Vince. I have no idea why that clock popped up.
Yeah.
Stevie, we'll rebut Vince Russo.
Okay, you're good, Stevie, putting the finger up.
No. I'm agreeing with everything that he's saying, but I thought we were talking about things that have, incidents that have been forgotten. I don't think anybody has forgotten anything when it comes to Jesus Christ.
You don't?
And God and all
you
these.
don't? You don't?
No, I really don't. I just think people, and with all due respect, from my point of view, I just think people don't care. I don't think they have forgotten anything. I think they're just overlooking for the betterment of themselves as they live on earth. That's just what I believe. One man's opinion.
It's really kind of funny. I'll jump in here because my dad is a United Methodist pastor for 45 years. And I think you go through different stages of your life, and I think you do forget sometimes exactly where it all started. And I got to tell you, for me, 6 years ago, when I got a call and he had heart issues forever and he was done, it was hospice. We tried one last time to get him on the transplant list. And he got on. 800 people ahead of him on a Tuesday. Thursday, I get a call. He leapfrogged all 800 of them because his blood matched with something that other 800 didn't. My dad turned the heart down. We said, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't deserve it. Haven't been on long enough. Just because I have a life of service. And then we had to convince him to take the heart. and now he's still alive 6 years later,
Right.
married 56
And-
years to but let me finish. My point
Go
is
ahead.
that my mind changed that
Mhm.
day as I watched
Mhm.
his heart outside of his body
Mhm.
for 14 hours, and
Mhm.
then he lived on a bypass machine for
Right.
14 hours. And as I grew up in the church,
Mhm.
I actually agree with a lot of what Vince Russo said. We forget because sometimes, or we overlook because we're so locked into being human beings. And I think as I've gotten a little bit older, I'm starting to look at my mortality and things a lot differently than I did when I was a lot younger.
The only thing I'll ask is this: event or moment in history? We're talking Jesus Christ.
Right.
Are we talking about a particular moment or an event when it comes to the timeline of one Jesus Christ?
But this is the thing, Avi.
That's the question. Yes,
You have millions and millions and millions of millions of people every Sunday, whether it's on television, whether they go to church regularly, millions and millions of people. So when you're talking about an event like that we can forget, how can you forget something that you actually worship on a weekly basis and almost on a daily basis for a lot of people?
But
So
it's
you go
not
to
always, that's not always
church.
brought up, Stevie.
The world,
every week
the
at
world
church.
takes over. The world takes over. The world takes over.
That's what I'm saying. What we were talking about, the way I took this question in context was an event. An event. So
I'll give you an event.
when
Avi,
you're talking-
let me give you the event that you're looking for.
Please.
Maybe it'll help Stevie.
Right.
And guys, I mean this from the bottom of my heart because this is a game changer. And I was saved, I think I was about 42, it was about 20 years ago. And I will tell you this, if we want to narrow it down to a moment, let's narrow it down to a moment. I am begging you, if you are watching this show, pick up a Bible and read the Sermon on the Mount. Let's go back to that point in time, the Sermon on the Mount, when Jesus Christ himself stood there and explained to us how every one of us needs to live our lives. This is what we were put on this earth to do. This is what was expected of us. And I'm telling you guys, if you read that, it is the blueprint to our lives.
First
The
off, thanks for
blueprint.
sharing that. And I have a question just for Vince. And I really want to ask you this question because I'm interested. I think we've entered an age where there's independent reasoning, but it's scorned. And I think individualism is dismissed. Do you think that's the case as it pertains to religion, or at least shedding some light on viewpoints as it pertains to religion?
I absolutely do, because Avi, you have to listen, man. Christians, we believe in something we can't see, we can't touch, we can't smell, and what that is absolute faith. You have to have absolute faith. I don't believe any of us are here by chance. You have to have absolute faith. And if we want to, like I said, we want to talk about a history, a point in time, go read that Sermon on the Mount, guys. Seriously, it will change your life. That's all I got to say about that.
I appreciate that, guys and gals. A lot of heartfelt comments from Vince Russo, Stevie Ray, Jonathan. Before I move on to the next topic, guys, our judges in the back are going to vote on who resonated most with them. All shtick aside, I want to tell you guys, votes are awesome. It means that someone resonated with you. Again, no one here is better than the other. I know Stevie's going to say something right. I just know he will. No one here is better than the other. Everyone here is great. What I'm saying is who resonated most with you. That's my question. That's how this voting system is set up. Then, guys and gals, you can also comment and vote as well. Where else can you interact and determine the outcome of every match? Right here on TKN. Guys and gals, again, it's not just about the pomp and the circumstance. We're happy we're doing something here that is giving you guys a chance to think. You don't have to like us. You don't have to like me. Just think. That's all you have to do. Think. Don't accept. Guys, let's bring in our awesome celebrity judge tonight, a man who's going to have a round 2 matchup coming up against some pretty impressive talent in his own right from film and television. Guys, Brian Knobs is going to let us know who he votes for and why, and anything else you'd like to say.
Well, I'm going to tell you, first of all, I never met Jonathan Coachman, and I respect you, and I know Vince because I worked for him in WCW, and Stevie, like he said, hey, Vince, you're not lying. Stevie's my brother, but that was, you guys, man, hats off to you. I mean, that's all three of you were fantastic. I mean, really, almost brings a tear to my eye. Every one of your, answers and questions and everything, it was unbelievable. And man, it makes you think. It really does. because, like the world has to come together, and I understand that. And, the politic game and all that, but God, I'm a Catholic boy. I was raised a Catholic boy. I went 8 years of Catholic school, and, it is what it is. But, that was very, very genuine, and I'm moved by all three of your statements and all three of your answers to that question. I really am. Thank you.
Absolutely. Who resonated most with you, Mr. Nobbs?
I'm still thinking. I'm really.
I'm going to put you in the back momentarily, bring the other judges in, and then I'll bring you back again for your vote. Absolutely. It's tough. No, I'm with you. I'm glad I don't have to vote guys and gals and pals, because if I did, this hair would not look so pristine.
Avi, can I just throw something in there too? Because Stevie Ray, he's gonna start texting Knobs. Okay, can you just throw down the rules that we cannot text judges?
No texting.
I haven't texted anyone, man.
I'm looking out for darting eyes. I'm looking out for darting eyes.
I didn't even know Knobs was a judge tonight. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys and gals. Vince is bringing up some really important stuff here. Stevie Ray is ambidextrous.
No, he's not.
Wow, I'm just saying.
Bringing up anything important.
Watch him.
Hey, look, guys. Vince Russo works hand in hand with Stevie Ray. He's telling us, and I want to read this here, guys and gals, from Vince. Okay, I work with Stevie Ray. I monitor him closely. If anyone promotes chicanery, it's him. So that's from Vince Russo. He texted me that himself.
And especially Avi. The way the steel is played Thursday night.
Oh, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that.
So he's really
Stevie knows why I'm not touching.
He's really in a mood, Avi.
Yeah, I'm not touching the Steelers right now. God, guys and gals and pals, again, watch Stevie Ray's great podcast, Straight Shooting, because you can catch it on his Facebook page. It's free. You guys can check it out. There's a lot of great discussion, unless you're hating on the Steelers. I pray for your good soul if you do. Guys and gals, let's bring in the judges and see who they vote for and why, starting with Mr. Larry. Larry, how are you, my friend?
I am good, Avi. How are you tonight?
Doing very well, my friend.
Man, in the comments, it's one thing to be judging, but to be on screen. Gentlemen, thank you for that. All of you were amazing. I was going one direction, then I was going another, and then going completely another, and just back and forth. It was awesome.
And they're taking their time to flesh things out for us, Larry. Have you noticed that?
I know, it's awesome. Yeah. I want to say, Coach, straight to the point, but gave good information. I appreciate that. And I remember 9/11 very well. And I appreciate you caring for Mr. Russo to help him get to his bath tonight. And then Stevie Ray. More information and just moving as well, because it's 9/11 is close to everyone. My wife's father was in Vietnam, and those guys definitely do not get enough credit for what they did.
Amen.
Especially for when they came home.
Amen.
And then Vince Russo, the passion that you brought, I love it. That just was moving. I felt like I was going to church, to be honest. And that's not a bad thing. And as far as who won, I have to go with Vince Russo.
Okay.
For this vote.
Look at this. Premature celebration going on here.
He won before that just happened. I apologize, Larry. That was embarrassing.
Wow. Where's the chicanery now, Vince?
You're a New Yorker. Avi, this is Mets Orioles, bro. Hey, Stevie, this is 1969 all over again, bro. No immaculate reception, bro. Yeah, Larry. Yeah, Larry.
Larry, guys, again, Larry's dispelling the notion of chicanery over here as he votes for Vince Russo. Now, Larry, you can retract that. Do you want to take that back? Because you can. You've been under a lot of stress. You've been telling me a lot about your weekend so far. I know what you've been through, my friend. Do you want to think about that?
Are you kidding me right now?
You want to take
not
that
see
back?
the dancing?
Man.
I'm celebrating for my Lord. That was a victory for me and the Lord, Larry. That was a victory.
Larry, I promise you, your Lord will not be upset if you take that vote back. If you choose
Avi.
No. If
Avi, knock it off. Avi, I know what you're doing, Avi.
I'll mute myself.
I'm throwing the flag. The vote is in. The vote is in. There's no hanging, Chad. The vote is in, baby.
Larry, we got your vote. We tallied it, my friend. Anything you'd like to tell Vince, Jonathan, or Stevie before I put you back?
Yeah, the main reason I can't take it back is, for me personally, 9/11, I do remember it every year.
Yeah.
And I am guilty of forgetting Jesus at times.
Okay.
And that
that
resonated with me. So
appreciate
for this
you,
one,
Larry.
Vince has my vote. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We're going to see you again after topic number 2. Thank you, guys. Again, we are live. 217 episodes just like this consecutively without skipping a beat. That's because, guys, the sweat is the sweet. We love the work. Howard Collado from Brooklyn, New York. Who do you vote for and why?
First of all, an honor to be on the screen with all 4 of you gentlemen.
And you faced Stevie. You faced him before.
I did. I looked in his eyes.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was definitely a battle. Man, this was a tough one. Definitely a tough one. Jonathan, definitely 9/11, I think, is something that we have overlooked. Maybe the first 5-6 years. Yes, maybe 10. There was a lot of reverence for it. But yeah, I do believe we have forgotten it. Stevie, man, the coup d'etat of your argument was when you talked about, at least this is how I interpret it, the danger of time eroding our memory of that event, of both of those events. That's really where the danger of it really lies. Vince, holy cow, you went there, and I was like, man, he's gonna go there, and I love it. You brought up some great points, and you talked about. Here's what I think. I think that the fact that we have forgotten and overlooked his principles, right? And I think his principles have been reinterpreted over history to fit an agenda. And I think that's where we really have come into a lot of difficulty. And I think, the fact that we live in such a chaotic world proves that I think we have overlooked the beautiful things that he talked about on that sermon. By a hair, my vote goes to Stevie, only because I wanted to hear a little bit more about that beautiful moment on the mount. That was it. That was all.
So you're voting for Stevie.
Avi, the sound effects aren't necessary, Avi.
No, listen, guys and gals, Howard Collado, Brooklyn, New York native over here. Vince might have thought he had this in the bag with a New Yorker here, but again, showing his unbiased.
I was thinking New Yorker. I had the Italian thing. I had the Italian thing going with Howard. But you know what I'm going to chalk this up to?
What's that?
This is a pity vote for Stevie.
I see.
Howard, wait a minute. Howard, are you Italian?
No, I'm Dominican.
Oh, okay.
6 and 1 half a dozen of another.
For some reason, Vince thinks you are.
6 and 1 half a dozen.
But here's the thing, and Avi could attest to this, right? When we judge, two of the things we always look for is who went deep, right? And who did you feel like you learned something from? And that's not to say I didn't learn. I learned from each of you individuals, all 3 of you men. But there was just by a slight hair, Steve went a little deeper with that comment about, with the danger of this event, being something that we forget. How much? Oh,
well, look at this though. Is this going to affect the people in the comment section? I haven't pulled up their votes. Never vote for Vince.
Yeah, it'll affect them if you keep the comment up there, Avi. It'll definitely affect them if you keep it up on the.
You know what, guys? I'm going to point to this. I do not condone this comment. Let me pull it up again. This is not right, Vince. You're right. I don't believe that this guy can have the audacity to put this up here.
Unbelievable, right. You and Stevie Ray, man. Look, Coach, serious.
Stevie, you can't condone this comment over here on screen, can you?
I didn't know that we were going to get votes based off of how long we talked. In the world that I grew up in media, you give really good takes
bites
in a really good period of time.
Condensed.
If that's the case, mine was on point and on time.
Howard, do you want to rebut? Howard, do you have a rebuttal? Do you want to rebut Jonathan?
2 of them. Yeah, 2 at once.
Again, right? I want to learn something, and I want to whoever goes deep, right? And again, right? Stevie said, how much fear can control our reactions and our responses? I mean, those are little tidbits that I look for when I'm voting. Right, little tidbits like that,
Understandable.
Appreciate you, my friend. Absolutely, it's not easy to vote. Appreciate your time. We're going to put you in the back and keep things rolling, guys. Keep things moving. Again, this is long form. We appreciate you guys in 9.5 short months. 70 guys and gals, 70,000 subscribers. We are. I got to tell you, man, you guys are giving us a lot to look forward to, and of course. Right now at 2.3 million views. We are very happy with what the new network is doing and the Suits and Ties who now all of a sudden believe in this because you guys believed in us. Thanks for inviting us to your living rooms live. That's how we thrive every Saturday night, guys and gals. Let's bring in Mr. Kelly J. White to see who he votes for and why.
All right. Wow. You guys are kind of changing up the normal dynamic this evening. I like it. I like it. I've heard people say that, hey, I'm back on my BS. I think to be back on it, you have to get off of it first. And I don't know if that's happened this evening. But to get down to the judging portion, I like to stick, to who really hit the topic, and that was a forgotten bit of history. I don't think anybody quite did that. Coach, you kind of hit on Vietnam. Yeah, I agree. It's starting to fade a bit. Doesn't get the recognition that it still should this day and age. 9/11, kind of the same way, but I think they're far from forgotten.
Wasn't it overlooked? Wasn't that part of the overlooked or forgotten?
Yeah, I'm going to read this again. So, right. Question number 1 or topic number 1 is please discuss a moment or event in history that has been mostly forgotten or overlooked.
Okay, or overlooked.
But you're the judge. I apologize. I don't want to question.
No, that's fine. It's great to bring up a point, and I can see a little bit of distinction there, but they're still pretty prevalent. And Stevie, you kind of went with 9/11 as well, and then Vince, you brought up Jesus, and I've said this before. If he appeared every time someone brought him up in one of these contests, he would be the most prolific guest we've ever had on TKN, and that is not a bad thing. But you started out with the birth, and I mean, it's on every calendar, December 25th, and you segued into some other stuff. Can definitely appreciate that, but that's more of a philosophy than a point in history. So when I kind of circle back around to everything, I think Stevie, with the topic, went deeper into it and kind of foreshadowed that we are aiming to have it be forgotten or overlooked by the very government that should be reminding us of it at least once a year very thoroughly. So with that, no, he didn't text me. I ain't got any money, Vince, but my vote does go to Stevie Ray.
I appreciate all the judges taking their time, taking notes. Kelly, one a very intelligent man who goes very deep, several layers of magnitude deep, dare I say. Mr. Kelly White, thank you. Anybody want to address Kelly on anything? Feel free if you want to. Vince, Jonathan, Stevie. Okay, guys, thank you.
No. I agree.
That's very fair.
I agree with everything he's saying about
appreciate that.
Something been forgotten or not discussed as much as it should be.
Sure.
Especially when it's at that level of importance.
Right.
Something at a level of importance that touched everybody in the world, not just this country. It touched everybody in the world in one way or another. And I don't think that should ever die.
Yeah. Guys and gals and pals, if you consider this conspiracies, no. Listen, think about the Kennedy assassination. I always bring this up. One conspiracy might have been to kill Kennedy. People forget the other conspiracy was to cover it up. What people forget is that Kennedy and Khrushchev were back-channel communicating. Their governments didn't even know that they were doing this, guys and gals and pals. They both agreed to end the Cold War by 1965, but then Pope John died. He was the one back-channeling through both of these. He was the one giving them information. They were outing this together through him. And then Khrushchev was out due to coup d'etat, and instead we got 20 more years of the freaking Cold War that we try to whitewash. So I'm glad you guys, again, are tackling topics that should not be controversial. If you have a great panel like a Vince Russo, Jonathan Coachman, Stevie Ray, Kelly White, Brian Knobs, Larry, Howard Collado, don't be afraid to discuss stuff like this. Don't be afraid to disagree. Don't be afraid to tell the moderator of any host that somebody's on the clock. And don't be afraid, guys and gals and pals, to make sure that at the end of the day, your comments should speak very loud. You should definitely talk about how you feel, unless you're celebrating the New York Mets. Guys and gals and pals, that's Kelly J. White. We appreciate you, my friend. We're going to bring in Mr. Brian Knobs, who's ready to vote right now, my good friend.
Yeah, man, I listen to everybody else, and you three guys, and Stevie Ray, thanks for texting me. I really,
I know it.
Hey man, I mean, you're my brother. But the guy, and the first guy to cut me down was the coach, and I never even met him before, but I respect him. But you know what? After thinking everything up and hearing the questions, I'm going with the coach. I really am. I'm going with the coach. I like what Stevie said, especially about Vietnam. I have a lot of buddies that were in Vietnam. I'm an old guy, and but Jonathan, you brought stuff up also that I appreciate. And Vince, man, you know, like I said, I'm a Catholic boy, religious and all that. So all three of you were fantastic, and that was a hard one to judge. I mean, I thought it was going to be. I didn't know it was going to be that, you know, mental intelligence because I'm getting hit over the head with the chair.
Brian, you've seen this tournament. Yeah. You were in round number 1, of course. You've seen some heavy hitters, intellectual minds. Wouldn't you agree? And hey, look, again, I don't brown nose anyone. Wouldn't you agree this is one of the most intelligent panels we've had?
Yes. Are you kidding me? Yes. Three of the greatest guys right there with their minds and everything. But, you know, Stevie, I'm sorry. You know, like Vince said, you're in my back pocket. No, that's not true. You know me. I tell it like it is, and I'm going with the coach.
Brian, last question for you, my friend.
Hey, I would vote for the coach myself if I wasn't there.
Look at this. Stevie said if he was not on the panel tonight, he would have given it up to Coachman if it was one-on-one against Vince Russo in this matchup. Brian Knobs, question for you, my friend. Do you feel as if Vietnam might be the redheaded stepchild because the viewpoint of the powers that be, without talking about the 1%?
Yes.
You feel as if we don't talk about Vietnam because
they forgot about it before it even happened. I just watched when we were soldiers. Did anybody ever watch that with Mel Gibson?
Yes.
They came back and nobody was even there. That was back in the day when it really happened.
Do you feel like they forget about them because they perceive it as a loss? Do we perceive the Vietnam War as a loss for us?
I think they do. And man, I got a lot of friends, and one of the guys that actually paid for SAG's wrestling school, he was in 10 offensive, and another person that is a really good friend of mine, and he's you know, kind of wacky, but you know, them guys went through hell and they don't appreciate them at all. And 9/11, you know, that's when the world came together, and then they come together for a couple of years, and everybody forgets it now. It's like 5
presidents we had that couldn't get Vietnam right. 5 of them, right? And you think about it, and maybe Stevie might disagree or not on this. Even John F. Kennedy himself was waiting till 1964 till he got reelected to pull everyone out. All he wanted essentially, Brian, was to make sure that the ARVN, the South Vietnamese, were being trained by the U.S. soldiers, not fighting hand in hand against Ho Chi Minh, even though we were bombing those trails and they were rebuilding them every single day like nothing.
I want to tell you something. Coach said he was over in Iraq. Well, I went to Iraq, but I wasn't on the big WWE Iraq tour. I was on Jimmy Hart, but they wanted 5 people, and it was me, Jimmy Hart, Greg the Hammer Valentine. It was Kelly Brooks and SoCal Val. We were over there for 30 days. Okay, and at a base, we flew 4 these little bases, and one of the bases, they killed the soldiers right there. 7 months before that, some bomber drove right in there, and then the people hate us over there. When you go over there and you realize, and you're there in a small group, you know, and we were there at every camp, 4 hours flying Black Hawk helicopters to another place, like 30 days. And then I saw the gym, and there was no booze, and I'm not drinking right now anyway because I got cirrhosis of the liver. But what the hell? Life goes on because I lived that lifestyle. But anyway, I told Jimmy, I said, if you want to put me in rehab, you should just put me in rehab. You didn't have to get me on the tour to Iraq to stop me drinking. I mean, what the hell? But anyway, nobody knows what it's like until you're over there. And I was actually over there. I went to Iraq for 30 days, and we were there. And, you know, when you said that, Coach, and that resonated with me because people over here are watching the Kardashians and all that bullshit. And I'm serious. I know they're number one and they're making all this freaking money, but they didn't even care what was going over there. And I saw the guys that were just over there and they couldn't get back because they were just handed papers that you got to stay. You know what I mean? We went all over, man, all over Iraq. Mosul, they mortared us. You know, and I couldn't even close my vest because I was too big. So they took my bulletproof stuff out. So if they shot me, they shot me. So we got off on a helicopter. And when we got off, the first sergeant, because I was in the Army back in the 80s, he goes, "Go down, everybody hit the tree." And we have all the soldiers out there with guns. I said, "Top, I'm not jumping down in the dirt. If I jump down, I'm not getting back up." And then I had behind me Greg the Hammer Valentine going, "I ain't jumping down either." And that's my brother-in-law. So, I got to give it to the coach on this one. Sorry, Stevie. Sorry, Vince, for thinking Stevie's in my pocket. But I listened to all of you, and you all had a good argument. And thank you very much.
Appreciate you, my friend. One more topic to go for Mr. Knobs. He'll be voting again for our last topic coming up. He'll be voting again for our very last topic coming up.
Avi, I just want to point out,
please.
Knobs may not be drinking anymore, but he clearly is hitting that rum candy again. I just want to make that clear for everybody watching at home. Yes.
This panel is like an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet of intelligence and a battle royal of talent, says John Glowaniac. Thank you so much for your comments.
We'll take
you are absolutely right about that. Guys and gals, love your comments. You definitely are enjoying what we do here because, again, we're looking at three great minds. And our final topic right now, but before we do, let's count your votes. Guys and gals, I got to scroll up for this, so why don't you do me a favor and allow me, if you can, to not scroll up all the way through these comments and let us know who you voted for and why right now live. Put in your comments now and vote live in the comment section as I pull up some of your votes in real time so the gentleman before me can see that there is no chicanery on my part whatsoever. All right, DJ Solo says, I am going with Stevie. April concurs and votes for Stevie. That is 2 straight for Stevie Ray. I will tally this in the back. 2 straight. So, of course, your votes in the comment section are worth 1 each. Right now, guys and gals and pals, Stevie has 12. He is in the lead, comfortably right now in the lead. More votes, more votes, more votes. We have, I believe this is from Sean Archer, votes for Stevie. Got it? Okay, let's see if there's other votes coming down the pipe.
Shocking, by the way.
Vince took the cake. I vote for Vince. So Vince gets a vote right here from Brittany. Thank you, Brittany. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Vince right now, 2 out of 3 advance unless there's a tie. 2 out of 3 advance unless there is a tie. Stevie had another one earlier as well, 13. All right, guys and gals and pals. Can't count all of these. We'll be here till next week, but I will try to make sure there's a healthy amount of comments here that I put up. I vote for Avi. I can do that, right? Absolutely. My match is not till April, though. And I'll attack the Middle East. We talked about that in April when I'm up. Positive dose of Ralph votes for Stevie, but Vince had a great point as well. Thank you again. Stevie gets another vote. Guys, we'll always include you as much as we possibly can. Gloria Westcott votes for Stevie. 2 more for Stevie Ray, who now has 15. And again, this is all cumulative, so topic number 2 can still determine so much. Trying to play my role of octopus here while I pull up these comments and also make sure that I give you some commentary. Guys, here is another vote from some of you here that are re-voting. I vote for Stevie, Lester says, because Vietnam has been forgotten, overlooked by so many. Okay. Phil votes for Vince. And then another one for Vince. 2 in a row. Joe Risitano votes for Vince. That is 2 straight for Vince, I should say. So Vince right now, guys and gals, has 8. Stevie has another one, which makes it 16. In the comment section is where we're tallying this. Coachman gets Myron's vote. Appreciate that. We have a vote for Coachman. And I believe there's a few more for Coachman as well. Aiden votes for Stevie. Giselle votes for Stevie.
Giselle.
Sasan votes for Coachman.
Thank you, Sasan.
Appreciate that. Guys, again, let's tally this right now. As it stands, here is where we stand right now. I'm going to stop with the votes. Stevie has 19 thus far. Vince Russo has 8. Jonathan Coachman has 7. Jonathan and Vince are real close right now, but we have another topic to go. All right, guys, enough out of me. I'll zip the old lip. Topic number 2, I will bring it up right now, and we're going to go same order. We're going to go Jonathan, Stevie, and Vince. I want to talk about thought-provoking topics all the time if I could, but we're going to do it right now because consciousness is built on awareness. The question I have for all three of these gentlemen, beginning with Jonathan, is, in your opinion, who or what, Jonathan, is the greatest enemy of mankind? Who or what is the greatest enemy of mankind? Take all the time you'd like. Stevie and Vince can rebut with the index finger. I'll pop up and make it official if they choose to do so during or after. Jonathan, the floor is yours whenever you're ready to go. Good, sir.
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
Absolutely. The question, who or what is the greatest enemy of mankind?
The greatest enemy of mankind. I just wanted to hear you say it one more time, Avi. It's the capital F word. And you know I'm not going to swear here on your show. It is fear. So many people sit around and they're fearful of doing anything. They're fearful of showing somebody love. Vince just talked about it. We're fearful of making a change in our life to go out and do something. I come from a really, really small town in Kansas. A lot of my buddies are still there. Why? Because they didn't want to chase their dreams. They didn't want to go where Stevie's gone before, where I have gone before, where Vince has gone before, because we are fearful. And to me, it's why mankind kind of looks at themselves more than they look at anybody else. And I don't care if you stay here in the United States or whether you go to a lot of countries that we visited in our world of wrestling, whether it's Japan, whether it's going to Hawaii, Australia, Europe, Africa, any of them, they're fearful. They're fearful of taking a step forward. I think a lot of times now with all the politicals and all of the wars that are going around, if you want to call them wars, we're fearful to even make a statement. We're fearful of putting our stuff out there because maybe somebody will cancel us in 2024. To me, this was a really easy one. The enemy of mankind right now and moving forward, and it won't be close for a long time, will always be fear.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And guys and gals, once again, please thank Jonathan Coachman, Vince Russo, and Stevie Ray for being here live on a Saturday night, guys and gals. Family comes first. They all have family. They're here. They're giving you their all, not just because they want to win, but they're educating you. Let's not take that for granted. Stevie and Vince, a rebuttal, perhaps, or no?
No, not at all.
Gotcha. You were bringing up fear. So again, I just go off the cuff. I like doing that as well. You brought up fear. Do you feel like our voice is controlled by a choice that doesn't come from us? And by that, I mean the powers that be. We keep hearing about these powers that be. We don't know who they are. We talk about the 1%ers. I'm not going to bring up their names. Do you feel like the powers that be that run this home of ours make us settle for a very small percentage of what we've earned as human beings?
That's a very loaded question, but right now, the three of us, the four of us right now, we all live in the world of media, right? We live in the world of entertainment. And a lot of times when you look at, I could list 5, 10, 15 different names of people that have been silenced because they put their voices out there. So there's no question that right now, a lot of us are silenced. A lot of us are very fearful. Hell, I'm fearful. I've got 2 or 3 things that are popping right now. If I say the wrong thing on this show and gets quoted somewhere else, all of a sudden my phone's ringing, Coach, can't use you for that. And I hate it. There's only a few voices in the United States that have either the money, the salary, the guts, whatever it is, to go out onto a limb and say what they really need to say. I was at ESPN for 10 years.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith are allowed to say whatever they want. They're not fearful because they are insulated, and they also make what we like to call FU money. It wasn't like that when I was at ESPN. So there's no question if you are a voice that is heard or a public voice, and I'm not saying we're any better than the people that are just 9-to-5ers, but there is a very real thing in getting canceled and then getting a job back and earning a living is a really hard thing to do. That's why fear, no matter how you're looking at it, fear is always going to be the number one thing.
Well put, guys and gals. That's Jonathan Coachman again. We're going to kick it over to Stevie Ray momentarily. Thanks for your votes, guys, in real time. And you are so right about that, man. I just want to have this discussion with everybody. Took me 8.5 years to get to work for one of the greatest studios on God's green earth as a screenwriter. And I know that doing this show was not something that they were passionate about. You know, I've written for the John Goodmans. I've written for the Will Defoes. I've written for guys who are in this tournament who told me, how do you think you can get away with speaking the truth? And my response to that was, I'm not going to have to get away with speaking the truth. I'm simply going to have to present it in such a way where our audience isn't afraid to speak their truth. They can take something out that door when they finish watching the show and say, you know what? I'm not going to be struck by lightning from the gods above by speaking about something I've been told or conditioned to never bring up. So that's why you guys, again, from the heart, are real champions here. You guys are bringing up stuff. Vince has talked about Jesus Christ. Stevie Ray's talking again about 9/11, different perspective. Vietnam, Jonathan Coachman talking about fear, and your dad's condition and how faith was able to get him through. Again, there's nothing wrong with talking about something that's your truth, because I could tell, and I know that our sponsors feel the same way, that you guys are presenting it in a way that is not offensive at all, because you're passionate about it and you're thoughtful about all the comments. So again, give it up for Vince Russo, Jonathan Coachman, Stevie Ray, and guys and gals and pals. Somebody asked a comment in the comment section about Vietnam. How long did we know? I'll put it to you this way. LBJ's first meeting as a president was about the Vietnam War, which wasn't officially a war yet. How about that? So there you go. Guys and gals, Mr. Stevie Ray, right now, of course, LBJ had a good neighbor. We know who that was, Mr. Hoover. The young guy, Mr. Hoover, his neighbor. Stevie Ray, my question for you is the same. Who or what is the greatest enemy of mankind? Whenever you're ready to go, good sir.
Well, for me, it's a who. Man's biggest adversary on this earth is himself. Because man has never learned from, going back to Vince, if you read so many things in the Bible and so many things that have come true on earth over the years, is because of man's quest for control, man's quest for power, and man having no regard for his fellow man. So, man, biggest problem on this earth is himself. If you look at, we've been talking about war. What has man learned from war? Absolutely nothing. What has man learned from colonization? Absolutely nothing. Man has even used, if you look at things right now, how he uses religion to control the masses, how he uses the media to control the masses. Jonathan Coachman just got through talking about, I don't want to say the wrong thing because I might get canceled out. That is man's control over man. How far can this go before the very people that are being made to be afraid or controlled rebel? So if you have a situation with another country and one country is succumbing to your power, what is in the cards that that country might just say, forget it, and I'll just hit the button? So to sum this up, and I don't want to give a whole diatribe on it, a soliloquy whether, man's quest for the unknown, man's quest to control everything will be man's downfall as we know it. So man should fear himself because he never learns.
Appreciate that, Stevie. Thank you again for going deep. And no diatribe. Everyone knows this is long form because, again, we're not going to shortchange anybody. It's how we learn from one another. One thing that's really apparent on this show as well, although the three of you gentlemen are friends, we have a lot of celebrities that come on here. Again, 131. It's not just about the name or the fame or the acclaim, but the fact that when they're listening to each other, they walk out as friends. We like that. And I would like to think that if Stevie, Jonathan, and Vince didn't know one another prior to this, they'd feel the same way. You could tell the respect they have from each other.
No,
because, again, no?
No,
Do I stand corrected?
No,
you see what I mean?
You and Jonathan, right? You and Jonathan would be buddies.
Maybe Jonathan. But
Okay.
See what I mean?
Okay. Why?
I'm
why
the
are you
great
so hard on
equalizer.
Vince Russo? Why are you hard on Vince?
Avi, can I tell you why? Can I
Please.
tell you why? Let me explain to everybody watching at home. Back in the day when I was WCW World Champion,
Right.
okay,
Right.
Stevie tried to pull a shenanigans where he had a shirt that said the maxed heel,
Right.
and he wore a mask over his head. He tried to pull some shenanigans with me to fool me. Then he got in the ring with me. I beat him pillar to post. and I ripped the mask off to expose him to the world. Avi, this happened 25 years ago. The man still holds it against me.
Wow, Stevie.
Yeah. I just want everybody to know.
I never thought you were a guy that carried grudges, though. You always let bygones be bygones.
Yeah.
Who you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is there validity to this? I'm
Look, I
asking.
would have thrown Vince Russo out of the second floor window like Jim Brown.
Oh my God.
See that?
Nothing controversial about it. See, guys? Nothing.
He would have thought I was Jim Brown throwing one of his gals out of the window.
Jeez Louise, guys and gals and pals. Here, Vince Russo, guys and gals, and Stevie Ray. If you want to catch black and white, you're going to catch a bit of this between Vince and Stevie. I implore you to go to the brand, guys and gals. It is russosbrand.com. Very easy to remember. And I'll pull it up. As you guys know, we're live here now, but there'll be graphics and flyers that I'll put out there. Russo's, RUSSOS brand.com. That's RUSSOS brand.com. His last name with an S. It's russosbrand.com. A lot of great podcasts there, guys and gals. And if you're thinking about being educated and also motivated, who better than a coach? Jonathan Coachman, Driving the Lane, Behind the Turnbuckle, The Coach and Bro Show. This man is so well-traveled. He is everywhere. He's educating people on the road. He's educating people here tonight. Guys and gals, he does it in his sleep. He will educate you in his sleep. That's what he does. He motivates you when even he is tired. He'll do that. So, guys, watch all of his shows. And Stevie Ray, guys and gals, straight shooting with Stevie Ray. If you want to step into the danger zone, and that's what this is. A lot of people, and we're not, again, like Coachman said, we're not comparing or contrasting ourselves with other human being or like-minded content creators, but there aren't too many people that could go live and thrive the way we do every Saturday night, and we're doing it as well, guys and gals and pals. That's what we're doing. We do it live. Right now, I'm going to kick it over to Vince Russo, read a couple of comments, and then we're going to get out of here, guys. That's it. Our last topic. John says, man's greatest adversary is hate. In the past 200 years, we've been a country who keeps finding a reason to hate its fellow man. It's a fact, and I would concur, John. I personally would agree with you. We find some way. And I feel like if we don't have a political enemy here in this country, we turn on each other. We've seen it happen all the time. And quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. Guys and gals and pals, I'm going to kick it over to Mr. Vince Russo and ask him the very same question. In your opinion, my good friend, who or what is the greatest enemy of mankind? The floor is yours.
Well, I've got to agree with Stevie and Jonathan because they said two very important things. Jonathan said fear. Stevie talked about control. And yes, they gain control through fear. So who is the greatest enemy of mankind? It is they. It is absolutely the elite who run this country because the elite controls the media, the elite controls politics, the elites control big business, the elites control big pharma, the elites control our lives to the point of like we are mindless, thoughtless, emotionless sheep. And we allow them to control us through fear, exactly as Jonathan says. We are not smart enough to it. A very small percentage is smart enough to it. And there is a group of people, the elite, running this country, controlling everything going on. Stevie taught me that. I'm giving credit to my boy Stevie Ray here. Everything that happens is planned to happen. Nothing is by chance. If they want somebody to become the president, they're going to become the president. If they want somebody to be a top pop star, they're going to become a top pop star. They control everything. And we sit there and we watch media who is getting their message across, and we go out and we vote for who they tell us to vote for. We go out and hate who they tell us to hate. And like I said, man, 90% of us are controlled. We are not free thinkers. And I have to say, man, to me, that is the most disrespectful thing, because let me tell you something, man, this whole campaign that just went on, never one time on Russo's brand, never once did I ever tell anybody who to vote for. Why? Because if I'm telling you who to vote for, I am telling you, you do not have a brain in your head. You cannot make the right decision. You are going to have to listen to me because you are incapable. You are stupid. You are ignorant. You can't think for yourself. And unfortunately, 90% of the people of this country fall for that. The elite is the greatest enemy of mankind on this planet.
Wow.
I don't want to take up too much time. My rebuttal is simply this.
Okay.
Because I love that man. I love that man. But they both, Avi, and everybody listening and voting, used my argument in their arguments. So this one is a slam dunk. If I don't get every vote, then this is just a joke.
Guys, again, Jonathan said it. He's saying, just to reiterate, he's saying that Vince Russo and Stevie Ray made his point. They made his point.
Yes, they
Stevie?
did.
No, I have to disagree with the Coachman. The Coachman. I have to, I have to disagree with the Coachman. The Coachman actually talked about hate.
No,
I
never said the word hate. I didn't talk about hate.
What did you say?
I said fear. I was the one that said fear.
Okay, fear. Maybe I'm thinking about what Russo said. But fear and hate. But what I was trying to really convey was more control. Because control does not necessarily mean I hate you. Control just necessarily mean you work for me. Don't mean I hate you, but you work for me. So on the offset, I can see exactly what Jonathan is saying. But what I was trying to convey was that your quest for control will be man's downfall. And it goes more to what Vince was saying about how politics, media, and all these other things are controlled. Also.
And I agree with both of you. I agree with you, Stevie. Much respect.
I'm just saying, I think we all are talking about the same. They're all interconnected. Each one of us said is all interconnected when it comes to man's quest for dominance. Man's quest for dominance over man. That's all he got here on the earth. Is man.
All we got.
And I just want to throw in there too. With what Jonathan said, I couldn't agree more with Jonathan. And listen, I know Jonathan badly wants to go to the next round because he's got 2.5 hours every Saturday night where he does absolutely nothing. So I know, I know Jonathan wants to go forward. I know that. However,
availability being his objective. Wow.
Saturday night from what time? From
the goal.
Jonathan's available to do this.
Wow.
I already missed my bath. Avi, I want to say this.
You did.
I got to say this about Jonathan, 100% correct. Stevie, 100% correct. But when Jonathan's talking about fear,
right?
When we're talking about the enemy, who is instilling the fear? You see what I'm saying? And
guys, Vince is talking who, Jonathan talking what. So essentially right now, who resonated most with you based on the what? I'll say this real quickly. I have to. Again, you bring up the elite. I was bringing this up to Stevie actually earlier on the phone. We talk a ton off camera. And, it's so funny you brought up the elite because what's preordained, what's not, what's conjecture, what's not, I don't know, right? We don't know what's conjecture. What I can say is this, though. I can bring this up. How do you take a guy like a Richard Milhouse Nixon, who, hear me out on this, who in the mid-'60s was public enemy number one? Why? Because he ran on the McCarthy ticket. He was vice president for Eisenhower for 8 years. Eisenhower couldn't stand him either. Couldn't stand him. So this man was running on a ticket that was anti-communist, right? He went toe-to-toe with JFK in the first televised presidential debate. It was really close. It was real close. And there were more than 3. Those who were listening on the radio thought Nixon won that debate. Those watching on TV thought JFK won. Okay, got it. Moving forward, the man was essentially ousted. He was outed for talking about everyone under the sun in Hollywood and then some as being communists because he was running on an anti-communist ticket. Not 3 years go by. does he go to the public sector, decide to not run again, and then make the biggest comeback ever in 1968 and trounces his opponent. I mean, it wasn't even close. You tell me that the court of public opinion was in favor of Richard Milhouse Nixon making a comeback in 1968, and I'll sell you a bridge. It didn't make sense. It never makes sense. And I know it sounds bleak, but we're never going to figure it out.
I got a better one for you, Avi.
Sure.
You bring up Richard Milhouse Nixon,
who
actually started the war on drugs, which really was a war on poverty.
Right.
But let's go back a few years. Let's go back to 1947 when Richard Nixon was brought into politics through an article in the newspaper. By whom?
Right. Very good point.
Prescott Bush.
Prescott Bush.
Senator Prescott Bush. Okay, 3 years later, 36 months later, a person that wasn't even a blip on the radar screen as it pertains to national politics is the Vice President of the United States of America.
Sure. Out of nowhere.
Now, you just said yourself, Ike didn't like him. Why didn't Ike like him? Because he wasn't, I don't even know this dude.
Right.
But Prescott Bush, I'm skull and bones. You better like him, and you better liking it. That's politics.
If you want to talk real gangs, guys, look up Skull and Bones. But I'll say this much as well, and then just again kick it over to our judges, because these three very intelligent gentlemen, right, are going to find out who advanced to the next round. But yes, I mean, think about 1976. We take a peanut farmer from Georgia like Jimmy Carter, right, who was one of us, right, a guy who again we needed to relate to because we didn't trust our leaders. Kennedy gets assassinated in November of '63. LBJ doesn't want to run at the 11th hour, no pun intended, in '68. Of course, maybe because he saw the writing on the wall when other leaders like Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy were assassinated that very calendar year. And then we find out that Watergate happened. On top of that, there's a placeholder in Gerald Ford, who was part of that farce of a Warren Commission. Nobody trusted their leaders. They didn't trust government. We didn't trust government. So we took a person that had very little political experience and put him in charge of the free world, but only for the equivalent of a calendar year, for one term and one term only. He didn't come back. He was there to make sure the people did not give up on the two-party system. Look, the writing's there. There's no way to debate that, Vince.
I just want to say one other thing, because, again, I like to smarten people up. We're from the wrestling business. We got to smarten people up. I just want to let everybody know a lot of people believe Stevie's one of the elite. And you can tell through this show, he is trying to control the voters through fear.
Wow. Unsubstantiated claims made by one Vince Russo here.
I don't see Coach trying to control the voters through fear, but
look at
Stevie, who has been, a lot of people on the street say Stevie's with the elite. He's one of the people running this country.
Would you feel the same way if Stevie wasn't ahead in points? Would you feel the same way?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Stevie Ray's picture was on the advertisement. You literally just said, do you think Pat Sajak ever texted or called any participants on Wheel of Fortune?
Well, that's why his talk show got canceled in 1989. Nobody cared about the Pat Sajak show. Remember that?
He was on Wheel of Fortune.
Nobody cared about that show. No, Wheel of Fortune was a rating 6 as a Vanna White. That's why Vanna's still working.
Jonathan Coachman should be. Jonathan Coachman has lost all credibility.
Wow.
Bringing up Pat Sajak, a straight up burnout when it comes to hosting a talk show.
Thank you.
Meanwhile,
you should be ashamed of yourself.
This is a game show. He hosted the most legendary.
I thought you were talking about that talk show that I don't know what person went into
1989. That thing lasted. It was a hiccup. It was a blip.
Meanwhile, go ahead.
I take
Go ahead, Jonathan. Go ahead.
My point is that we were fighting an uphill climb before he came on.
Yeah,
I mean, I saw it all over. Stevie Ray's pictures
and
in the middle.
And Coach, I also want to throw this out there too, because Avi may not be aware of this. The good people at home listening. I do a show with Stevie every week called Black and White. We've been doing it for years and years and years and years. Stevie has admitted, Avi, many times on Black and White. You can go back and hear the show on Russo's brand. He has admitted many times Avi, you'll know this. He's connected with these people.
Oh, wow. Look at this.
He has said many times he's got mob connection. He talks about meeting with the mob in Vegas. Everyone. Oh, yeah. I just want listen, before people vote.
That's why you were schooling me on Anastasia earlier on the phone. You were schooling me on Anastasia earlier.
I just want everybody to know.
Go back to the 5 families and their history. Oh my God.
I just want to make it very clear that all this nonsense that Avi and Stevie Ray have been doing the last 3 to 5 minutes is trying to take all the voters away from who had the best argument. Let's not forget who had the best argument. Let's not lose sight of that with all this nonsense going
accusatory
on.
theme here
Things best friend number 2.
Wow.
I text Stevie Ray all the time. We're
I gotta
always
say, guys, Steve, are you mildly offended, Stevie? Are you a little offended?
Yes, I am, bro. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Hold on, Avi. He claims, Avi, hold the phone.
Sure.
He claims to be best friends with Frankie Valli. Frankie Valli was in The Sopranos. Frankie Valli is one of these guys.
He was.
Stevie claims to be best friends with Frankie Valli.
Guys, almighty, listen. Stevie, is there any? Go ahead, please.
Is it my fault that whenever I'm around Italian people,
right?
Here we go with the Italians now. Here we
go.
go.
You let me talk.
But they're not Italian. They're not from Italy. They're not from Italy. They're Italian. But go.
Whenever I'm around Italian people, for some reason or another, they gravitate to me.
Why?
I speak their language. Okay? I speak
so does Vince have an inkling of a clue as to why?
And Vince is jealous because he's Italian. He always puts it out there. I'm a proud Italian man.
Right.
Almost between him and Rocky Balboa, man, I can't even stand it no more. But be that as it may, whenever I'm around Italian guys, whether they're mobsters, whether it's Frankie Valli, whether it's an array of people I've met over the years, brother, they treat me like a brother.
Wow.
But when they come around Vince, they're probably asking is he really Italian or what? Is that my fault?
Now we're taking shots.
Is that my fault?
By the way, this is very interesting. Somebody just texted me the schedule for this show moving into 2025. How is Stevie Ray already booked on a show in February?
How's that work, Avi?
No, that's
how's that work,
Avi?
We have new sponsors. No, we have new sponsors.
How's that work, Avi?
No, that's above me. That's above me. We have new sponsors.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's news to me, though.
Coach, you and I spoke.
Man, whoever
I had no idea.
Coach,
apologize.
We spoke between us. Coach, I told you this was a sham.
to hear that, actually.
I told you this was a sham, Coach. I
no,
told
hey.
you shouldn't have done the show.
I had no idea. I wasn't privy to that at all. Guys and gals and pals, listen. Stevie Ray, guys and gals, look, I want you. Can I just say this? I do want to say this before. We got to go to the judges. Guys, vote with your heart, go out with your mind. But at the end of the day, you're going to vote for the person who didn't shortchange you. Obviously, that's Stevie Ray. But no, vote for whoever you think won this matchup fair and square. Because even though we all know Stevie Ray, it is your decision to make, not mine. It's not mine. I have no vested interest in
vote
this.
with your heart. Vote with your heart.
And mine.
Just said, no. The first thing you said is vote with your heart. I thought this was subjective.
Hey,
it is.
This was subjective.
Hey, Coach.
But far be it for me to tell people to put a clamp on their emotional inner self. We can't do that.
Coach, Jerry McDivitt isn't doing a lot these days. Maybe you and I make a phone call Monday morning to Mr. McDivitt.
And Tower lawyer over there is talking about
what's going on.
Avi, how many concerts? The great Vince Russo, the great rocker himself.
He's a music aficionado. He's a music aficionado.
He is. But did Frankie Valli invite him in to his concert and put him in the biggest seat in the hotel?
No.
Yeah,
he did that. He did it to me.
Because he probably had to give you the order to go break a couple thumbs.
Wow, guys, we're learning a lot now. We're learning a lot.
Any viewers watching right now that are under, 55 years old or feel like they're in a Billy Madison.
That's a good point. That's a good point, actually.
They really
That is a good point. And guys, again, Jonathan brings up a good point. It's getting late. It's a Saturday night. If you're part of the older democrapic, don't give this much thought. Just vote Stevie. Don't give it any thought. Don't give it any thought at all.
That's my buddy. Don't you do that. This man is a legend. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. No, Coach.
Guys, look, at the end of the day, save some time because Jonathan Coachman, a lot of syllables in that name. Stevie Ray's got only 3. Save yourself some time. Vote for the person with less syllables in their name. Guys, vote again for who you think was the better man in this competition. Let's bring in Larry. Larry, bring some normalcy here, Larry. Bring some normalcy.
Unreal, man.
Well, guys, it was an honor to be on screen with you, and my face hurts. I've been laughing so hard from this. And I appreciate Vince bringing it to my attention that Stevie has mob connections and kind of he's smarting me up to the 1% working with Stevie Ray to control things. So for this, I'm afraid, therefore I have to go to the original, which was driven by all of these, and vote for Coach because of
Coach.
Thank you.
Coach gets 5 points from one of our judges.
You're welcome.
Boom, boom,
Wow.
boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Keep it coming.
Right
Thank
there,
you,
guys.
Larry.
Let me tally this
You're
thing.
welcome.
Larry, I'm going to tally this thing. Anything while I tally, anything you'd like to tell Vince and Stevie and Jonathan right now before we bid you adieu, my friend?
You guys have been a big influence on my adult life. I appreciate all of the entertainment. Just appreciate you guys and getting to know you and see you outside of what you normally do is amazing. It's
and you got to promise
an
me, my
honor.
friend, because again, it's these 3 men. You got to follow what Vince Russo is doing again in his brand, and Jonathan Coachman and the shows that I brought up, which I'll bring up again. Stevie Ray and Straight Shooting. You can get a lot more. They all work together. Maybe there's going to be some surprises down the road for all of us. So you never know. Hang around. But Larry, we appreciate your comments and votes. I'll put you backstage, my friend.
Avi, real quick.
Yes,
real
Vin,
quick.
please.
I did not want to play this card.
Okay.
And Jonathan knows what this card is, and I know Stevie knows what this card is, and Avi, I know you know what this card is.
I feel like it's coming.
And this is drastic. Drastic times, drastic measures, drastic times, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Since the fix is in, Coach, is the fix in?
No.
It was in 6 hours ago, but
Avi, do you know what this is?
Not how we run things.
Avi, do you know what this is?
See what it does?
Do you know what
that's that Papa Smurf's hat? What is that?
No, you don't know what. Tell them what this is, Coach.
What is that? Coach?
It's the
Maloik.
The
Maloik.
Okay,
this
the Maloik.
is the Italian horn.
Right.
When we want to curse somebody or something, we pull out the Maloik.
He's pulled
Not
that
you,
thing out.
you're good with me. You're
And
good with
I'm
me, Larry.
Coach.
Guys and gals, Vince is having tech problems right now. I don't know what's going on. Something just happened. We lost him. We lost. Here he is without the Maloik. Without the Maloik. Sans the Maloik.
Because the fix is in, and Coach and I knew it from the get-go, and you took 2.5 hours of our time. I missed my bath. I am placing the Maloik on
you were never put over the way you were put over tonight,
I am
Vince
putting
Russo.
the Maloik on the Pittsburgh Steelers for the rest of this
Oh, that's
season.
okay. That's okay. That's fine.
Stevie, you brought this upon yourself.
That's fine.
Maloik.
That's fine.
That's my team.
Figure out why
That's
Avi
okay.
thinks that putting us over supersedes 3 hours sitting in this chair.
Right,
It
Coach.
does
Because you're
not.
trying to win, Coach.
It
You're trying to
does
win this
not.
thing. That's why. You're trying to win. We were on the phone all week long. You said, I got to win this tournament. You told me the reason.
Coach, baby, I'm the coach. I've already won.
You told me the reason why you won this thing. You told me what you're going to do with that money. I won't mention it live. But guys, Coach has a vested interest in winning this thing. And thankfully, I took 3 hours out of my time to make sure that Stevie, Jonathan, and Vince would allow themselves in all their glory to not shortchange you with their information.
But you could have cut down the intro. We couldn't.
Yeah.
I can never shortchange anyone. I need to show who's been on this show, Vince. I want you guys to go backstage and go, damn, wait a minute. We got this person on the show. We got that person in the tournament.
You guys
that
should
person
show.
round number 3. You looked at Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer after luminary after luminary, and I saw the palm
would've
sweating.
got the
I
point
saw you
after
guys
2
wiping
minutes.
the sweat off your brow, and you realized I am in trouble. But then it got worse. It got worse because Stevie showed up.
Yes, that's right, Coach. You tell them. You guys should show Avi a little bit more respect.
Thank you.
You guys should show this show a little bit more decorum.
Thank you.
Because right now, I'm ashamed of Vince pulling out that little gimmick.
Me too. What was that?
And then try to low rate the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know how I feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know that.
I've got two children that haven't eaten since breakfast waiting on me right now.
Well, guys, that's why I'm saying, guys, let's make sure, Mercy Kill or not, Stevie Ray, better man, vote however you want, though. Larry, thank you, my friend. We're going to bring up Jacques Rougeau. I like all three. Thank you, Jacques, for joining us. We appreciate you, my friend. The Mountie, guys, a legend. I like all three.
Mountie, yes.
But Vince made it clear for me. I also have a problem with the media. So Vince gets a vote from Jacques Rougeau. We appreciate that, Jacques. Thank you so much. Let's tally this here as well. Vince with 9. It's close between he and Coachman, guys. 2 out of 3 will advance unless there's a tie, and then all 3 will advance. That will not happen in round number 2 for either of them, though. All right. Let's bring in our next judge, Howard Collado. Who do you vote for and why?
Jesus Christ. All right.
No, we covered him already in the last couple. Go ahead.
We did. We actually did. I'm going to jump right into this. Coach, I love it. You talked about fear. Fear is universal. Everyone knows about it, regardless of sex, creed, or whatever your background is. Stevie, you went in and you talked about man himself and man's quest for control. Again, valid. I was losing hair at this point. I'm like, oh my God. But then Russo, you took fear, you took control, you interweaved it together, and you kind of connected those two ideas. And I thought that is eventually what won me over. So my vote goes for Vince. And they're cool little.
Your vote goes for who?
For Vince. Yeah,
Howard,
he found a way to kind of connect both ideas, and I thought that was.
Are you guys having any? Are you guys hearing him?
Yeah, we made it easy for him.
Are you able to hear him, Jonathan?
How about an original idea?
We made
Howard?
it easy for
How about
him.
an original idea?
No, look,
Are you
you
serious
Howard,
right now?
foundation.
Howard, I can't. I'm trying to tell you this, but I can't. Could you speak up? I can't hear you. Who are you voting for?
I voted for Vince.
Please project, my friend. We're theater guys. Can you please project?
I voted for Vince.
Guys, I'm going to put Howard in the back, and hopefully his tech works a bit better.
I love it.
Let's bring in Mr. Kelly J. White and see who he votes for and why.
All right, guys. Sorry you missed your bath time, Vince. Hopefully, maybe you still get that in, get a cup of tea for, night time. I love the fact Larry came in, called all you guys old. Nobody batted an eye. That was right in right there. With
we were too busy getting cursed.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
saw
Kelly.
Mark. I've never even heard.
I don't spend too many Saturday nights getting cursed by Italian relics. I'm sorry.
If I wasn't a lifelong Steelers fan, it might have been funny, damn it. No. I was going to touch real quick, though, on the political thing, because, Avi, you brought that up, some of the really weird stuff, that doesn't play out. Stevie touched on it earlier. Nobody on this screen is disagreeing with any of it. But I think, I'm a big fan of root causes, and I'm going to come back to that when I give them a vote. But if you look at it, and we go back to the American Revolution, we were taught originally that, England was taxing us, and, the Tea Party, we were tired of their taxes. It's been revisited. And if you look at it, it's really because King George put a hard stop date on importing slaves from Africa that were going to be required to work this brand new land that all these people had come over from England and the rest of Europe to turn into something economically bountiful. And they're like, this won't work. We need slaves. Let's revolt. But let's say it's because of this. And then these same guys turned around and put a document in effect based on the principle that all men are created equal, while they were owning slaves, and only white male landowners could vote for approximately the next century. So I think that speaks a lot to where we ended up, just personally. As far as the question goes, who or what is the enemy of mankind? I have a personal take on that.
Yeah.
But I like where every one of these guys went. You guys did make this one a difficult one.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with Stevie Ray. He went with who. And the who was the mankind. And no, you can't disagree with that. We are our biggest own enemy. Nobody's getting slaughtered by deer. There's not that many shark attacks. Even the mosquitoes aren't killing people by the millions. It's always us. So I think that's very valid. But the way I look at root cause, Vince narrowed that down. He took the funnel down to which portion of mankind? The elite. And yeah, they're out there. They're in nearly every country in the world when you get right down to it. But the U.S. is way at the top with our 1%ers and how they pull all the strings back behind the shadows. And when you really wrap your mind around it, it's really flipping scary. But Jonathan started off with, how did the elite get to be where they're at? In my opinion, he started off because we're afraid of them. In this concept, that was the root cause. We fear the elite because they have so much power. They can make you disappear. They can cancel you. They can have you killed. They can ruin your family, ruin your finances when you get right down to it. And everybody's a little bit afraid of that. So for that reason, that particular drill down, he started right out with it, succinct and to the point. I have to give my vote to Coach on this one. I'm going to tell you my personal, because I think this is what drives the elite. And if you could suck this out of humanity, the world would be such a better place. And you think hate. No, it's not hate. It's greed. Because if we all just accepted, hey, I've got plenty, why don't you have some too? Yeah. And didn't want to hoard every flipping resource that there is, we wouldn't have the hate. We wouldn't have the fear. I think we all could get along. That's my opinion. But again, excellent argument from all three gentlemen. I feel privileged to be here on screen with you. And yeah, have
appreciate
a great
it. Like it or not, I guess you're right.
Thank you, Kelly.
We're working for someone else's dream at the end of the day, big picture wise. You're right about that, my friend. Thank you, Mr. Kelly White. Guys and gals, Mr. Brian Knobs. Right now, Brian Knobs is Brian, guys, popped out. He's trying to pop back in. We don't have him backstage yet, but we're going to go to your votes. It's getting close because I want to read you the tally, guys. Okay. Mr. Coachman has 17 points and Stevie has 19, so he's coming close to catching Mr. Stevie Ray as top vote getter. But Vince has 14, so it's real close. Again, one thing always on the up and up are your votes. Let's see how close we do get. Phil says
Can
all
I have
three
for Vince?
There we go. But Stevie put it all together. I vote for Stevie. Very good, Phil.
What
good,
are we
nice.
watching?
Great vote. Great vote. All right. So we have another vote for Stevie, guys. Stevie now is at 64, I think. No, I'm sorry. He's at 20. 20.
Oh my God.
Thought I'm just seeing things here. It's been a long night. You're right. We have going with Vince on this time since Lester Cook. One vote for Mr. Vince Russo from Lester Cook. In the event of a three-way tie, these men will be separated and having different matchups with different opponents in the next round. Bob the Cooker Cook votes for Stevie Ray. Bob Cook votes for Stevie.
I appreciate that.
That's one of his students at his training school in Houston.
Wow.
No count. That doesn't count.
One of the greatest right hands in the business. One of the greatest right hands in the business, Mr.
No, it's not.
One of his students.
No, it's not.
Great vote there. Ed Hauser. Ed votes for Coach. Vince almost had me with Elite, but still going to go with Coach. Thank you for your vote as well. Coach with 18. This is legit, real close, despite the fact, guys and gals, that in my opinion, Stevie is the winner regardless. But I'm not voting. We have more.
That's very clear. That's been made very clear.
Chad Dixon votes for Stevie Ray in topic 2. He hit the nail on the head with this one. Good vote.
The fixes.
Thank you, Chad.
22 points. Let's see more. We have more, guys and gals, from a positive dose of Ralph. Stevie. I vote Stevie. Love the exclamation point right there as well. Well placed. Stevie gets another vote. Let's tally this in the back.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you. 23 points for Stevie Ray, who's now reclaiming the lead as he should have a long time ago. Rita Gooding.
I think I broke the record.
I think you're approaching it. You're approaching the record, guys, which was established by Stevie Ray years ago. I've got to go with Vince, says Rita. So Vince Russo gets another vote from Rita. Thank you for voting as well. It is close between Mr. Coachman and Mr. Russo.
Rita. That's the second time she's voted for you.
Yeah, right. Twice.
So
there you go.
Was that your niece?
No, I'm over with the women, Stevie. I'm over with
Giselle
the women,
votes for Stevie. On that note, Giselle votes for Stevie. There you go.
Thank you, Giselle.
Dispel that notion in real time. Go ahead, Coach.
Oh my God. The word we all three of us lived in our world is a work. This is the biggest work.
Oh no,
that I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
I didn't expect this from a.
Email.
Here we go.
Let's read this. Go ahead.
Here we go. Click here for a preview post that covers it all and is quite thorough.
Right.
It will give, and there's a link. It will give you a first-hand account on my WWE Hall of Famer friend and intelligent thinker Stevie Ray is a top contender.
I meant
to
AWE Hall of Famer.
Celebrity tournament.
Yeah.
At no point, and I know we were mystery, but in your sitting, if this is your preview post,
yes.
Everybody coming into the show has already preconceived notions
Yeah.
for who they're going to vote for
Yeah.
because all you did was promote Stevie Ray.
Because you guys were mystery guests. Remember that game the little kids used to buy? Mystery bait, and the dud comes in. That were you guys.
Not buying it. Not buying it. Not by-
Guys and gals and pals,
That's okay. That's
despite
okay.
these
The
accusations,
mystery
if you
guest.
voted for Mr. Stevie Ray on your own accord, I'll tell you, I've gained a lot of respect for you. We have Johnny McKinney voting for Vince Russo, so another vote for Mr. Vince Russo, circa
There you
Johnny
go.
McKinney.
Johnny
Thank
McKinney.
you.
I think
There we
that's
go.
his cousin.
There we go. Some more votes for Johnny and Jonathan
I
for
think
Vince.
that's his cousin, McKinney.
I got a
John
couple
Galeniak
more.
votes for Vince Russo. Another vote for Vince Russo.
Jeez.
Vince is now trying to get to this next round over here as he's up by 1 against Coachman. No, they're
Not
tied.
really. Not
They are
really.
tied. They're tied. Vince,
worry,
Vince
kid,
wants
don't
the
be done by
15
tomorrow.
grand.
Don't worry
Vince
about it.
wants the 15 grand and the trip to Greece like everybody else. He would like to go to Greece. He'd like to go out there with his family, I'm sure. Good conversation. There's no doubt about that. Guys and gals and pals, I'm going to count this thing down. We right now have the final score. I'm not going to really even tally anymore at this juncture. Guys, coach, 18. I'm not going to tell you where we are. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 is a 5 and a 4. You know, there's a 3 and a 2 and a 1 and 0. So, guys and gals and pals, with 24 votes, and definitely moving on to the next round is Mr. Stevie Ray, who was the top vote getter in this tournament, to the surprise of no one, including this very
Shocking.
gracious host. And tied at 18 points, and also moving on to the next round are Vince Russo and Jonathan Coachman, who are now in the next round. They tied each other, 18 points. We're going to split them apart. Who knows? Jonathan Coachman might draw, who knows, a Hollywood luminary, an Oscar winner.
now I gotta
Vince
do it
Russo might
again.
draw an Oscar win. You never know.
Maybe
They're in the
Candace
next round.
Owens. Avi, maybe Candace Owens I'll be on with next time.
Much to my chagrin, we will not have Candace Owens
Oh,
on, guys and gals, because Candace Owens did not want to be on with pro wrestlers. So we told her, get out of here. We don't want you on. Guys and gals and
Right.
pals, that's the truth. Hey, we're going to break through all barriers together. I want to bring this up. I do have a nice video for you guys, a tribute video for you guys. Sit back
my
and
God.
enjoy it. Sit back and enjoy it. It is
I
only,
bet
it
you
is
my
only
kid's gotta
3
be
hours.
fed.
It's
I
only
swear
3
to God.
hours and 8 minutes. Only 3 hours and 8 minutes. Enjoy it, guys and gals and pals.
Coach is only 7:45 there.
Yeah, guys, again, I'm going to put Mr. Stevie Ray backstage for one moment. One moment, Mr. Ray, because you are the winner. You're the winner.
Oh.
You won this thing. You need some, just to replenish yourself because you won this thing. Don't go anywhere, my friend. I want to make sure that Vince Russo watches his tribute video first, Jonathan.
Oh my God, I'm dead serious. It's like 3 hours for me.
Vince Russo
Like I
is gonna
literally have
watch his
kids I've got to feed.
Do you not want to watch your tribute video? Do you not want to watch your tribute video?
I mean, I do, but I mean, we're over 3
It's your
hours
call.
in here.
It's your call. It's
No,
your
no,
call.
I
I'm
honestly,
giving you a
I-
chance to
I
decide.
don't want to be rude, but I got to feed my kids.
I get. I'll watch coaches. I'll
you
watch.
You'll watch,
coaches.
you'll watch coaches?
I'll
Okay.
watch coaches for him. I'll watch coaches. for him.
You'll watch Coachman. So, guys, Coachman,
Yeah.
round number
He's my
2. Welcome. Congratulations. Have a good night. Mr.
I'll
Jonathan
I'll
Coachman,
watch
guys.
coaches. He's my partner in crime.
Guys and gals, Vince Russo. Well, I'm going to actually play this for Vince, guys. This Vince Russo should be watching his tribute video, and he will. It's about 60 seconds long or so, about a minute. This is us getting real right now, so hopefully you enjoy. What it's all about, guys. Family.
Avi, when are you going to put up the Vince Russo 1961 to 2024 for crying out loud? What am I, dead, Avi?
Well, yeah, we're all gonna be. We're all gonna be. At least I'm ahead of the curve. I'm ahead of the curve.
What is this, post-mortem, bro?
I'm ahead of the curve. That's all it is.
Oh my God.
Time's a wasting on all of us. Look at that great shot. Look at that.
Look at that, huh?
Look at that shot, huh?
Yeah, the coach.
Coaching, bro. Look at that.
Yeah.
I like that shot.
That's my favorite shot.
I like that shot a lot. Mom, God rest her soul.
Yeah.
Young Vince. God bless your pop.
Avi, I feel like I've died. I feel like I've died, Avi.
You got to. It's the best way to die, though, right?
Yeah, that was pretty good, Avi. Thank you very much for all. No,
you had a nice time.
I got to say this, Avi.
Yeah.
The intro, the little package at the end, all the time you put in this, unfreaking believable, Avi. Unbelievable, bro.
It means a lot to me, my friend.
But,
Glad you're in the. Yes.
But yeah, listen, as much as I'm going to put you over, no way, no how am I sitting through Coach's memoriam like that, bro. No way, no how.
Oh, no, I'm not playing Coach's memoriam.
Okay,
so there you go. There you go. Vince Russo, congrats on being in the next round. You go ahead, please.
Avi.
Yeah.
You know, man, I've been podcasting for 10 years.
A long time.
I do 18 shows a day. I probably got to do a show after this show.
Yes.
Bro, top notch.
Thank
top notch. Avi, the way you put this thing together, top freaking notch, Avi. I applaud you, my friend.
Appreciate that. Coming from you, that means a lot.
What a great job. What a thorough job. What a great freaking job, Avi.
Master podcasting guy, Mr. Vince Russo. Again, the brand. Check out this man. Doesn't sleep. Works with so many different talents. He does it every day. He grinds away because he wants to put out good content for all of you guys. My friend, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
All right, Avi. Take care. God bless, man.
You too. Vince Russo, guys. Talented human being. Stevie Ray, I'm going to pull you up right now real quickly because, Stevie, you did get the top votes. I'm going to bring in Mr. Stevie Ray right now if he's backstage. There we go. You ready to go, Stevie? Stevie, are you shocked that you got top vote?
No.
You're not shocked.
No. I knew they were great combatants. I knew that.
You did.
So, and what we wanted to bring to the show today was something a little different than what everybody does on the show on a week-to-week basis, because we all are entertainers, and we also wanted to entertain the audience at the same time. So we wanted to leave a everlasting impression
you did.
on the people that's watching the show, on yourself, and to just show the camaraderie that we have each other and the respect that we have each other, and that we can lay it down at the same time. So I think we kind of accomplished that a little bit.
I would agree. And you guys, again, are a huge part of that. I really can't thank you enough. And I want people to understand this again, guys. Stevie and I talk a ton because he's been around and been in my life for a very long time. And he really, you should hear this, because even though I have a tribute video for him, it's void of any of that music. But I do want to show some highlights.
Yeah, I tried to tell you.
Some life moments of his. Stevie, again, if you want to let the masses know, because some of them are asking, man, how deep do you guys go? It's deep. We worked together in Vegas, guys, in 2019. Right. I saw this man put together a variety show like no other. And I'm saying this because we got people listening now, and you know who some of them are. Mm-hmm. This man put on a show, guys and gals. And I know that you trust my opinion and you value it. So value me when do you hear me saying this live to anybody else? This man put on a show. When I say he put on a show, he got some talent that had never been put in that situation before. And it was like a well-oiled machine. Eric Bischoff, who's in this tournament. Ernest the Cat Miller, Ray Lloyd, who's in this tournament. This man put together a show like no other, and he did it with so little time because he's got the creative surge. He's got that itch he scratches. And on top of that, easily, and I'm talking thesis papers, professors, the most intelligent human being I've ever come across in my life, and it's not even close. So that's
you got to remember, you were there to help me, brother, and I appreciate your help that time. And Avi really helped me put that whole thing together, man. And because he was like the only person I could go to that actually understood what I was trying to do, and we made it happen, except for one hiccup, just one hiccup.
MM. MM are the initials. Well, you guys can figure it out. Guys, this is for Mr. Stevie Ray. Hope he enjoys it. This, again, are some great moments of Stevie Ray and his journey in life. Some great clips that I'm about to play right now for him while he's on screen. I do hope that he enjoys this thank you video as I try to pull this up in real time. This is from me to Stevie. That's real talk, guys. And we just talked about her.
Yes, we did.
Just talked about her. Eat that penny. Your friend of yours, Sid.
Oh, yeah. His son just contacted me. Gotta see the new ones.
Gotta see them. The legendary. Go put the stomping on Buff Bagwell there. TV champ, guys. Forecast, that was the year. Ron Simmons. There we are.
There we are.
Great human being, John.
That's my boy John.
Hall of Famer, guys. One of the greatest. Family. Recently, guys, Sonny Ono.
That was about a month ago. I was 2 years ago, actually. You know those guys?
Oh, yeah. And other legends, more legends.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Reed.
Yes.
Family.
That's my family.
Love that. Moses Malone.
That's my boy.
Early days.
The early days, man.
Ah.
You know what that is, huh?
That's her.
I didn't know you had.
Got them all here. That's Deborah.
Yeah.
Early days again.
89.
Wow. The greatest of all time, Mr. Muhammad.
Greatest of all time, me and Muhammad.
The Hitman. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, I just won that trophy for my car.
That's an LBJ right there. There we go, my friend. Does Mr. Stevie Ray approve?
I appreciate it, brother. That's nice. That's nice.
You deserve every bit of it, my friend. So, hey, listen, before we get out of here, you, my friend, are now officially, I think our viewers said it, one of the top contenders to win this entire tournament, this entire shebang. Are you looking forward to the next round, my friend?
Oh, man. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I had a blast. You know, had a blast, man. It went much better than I thought it was. And, hey, anything we can do, brother. Anything we can do to make things, you know, pop, you know, from the pro wrestling world, that's what we do. Nobody entertains the way we do.
You're right about that.
Nobody.
You're right about that. And guys, you're looking at the master over here, Mr. Stevie Ray. My friend, congratulations. Love you. Thank you again for showing us who you are. And guys and gals, give it up for Mr. Stevie Ray. Anything you'd like to tell the viewers? I'm going to give you a quick solo layout before you get on out of here, my friend. Anything you'd like to tell the viewers?
Man,
there we go.
You know, hey, appreciate everybody watching. You know, we've been trying to get on the show for quite some time now. And like I said, I've been on as a guest. And I love the show. I love my boy. I know what kind of time he puts in to try to make this thing happen for you guys, man. He goes out of his way and he does his due diligence to make this a top-notch show like no other in the country. And you guys should be proud of that because I'm proud of him. Because I know if anybody can do it, and if anybody can do it at a high level, it's Mr. Avi Klein. Appreciate it, Chad. Love you too.
Young's Mutual, my friend. You have a great night.
I will, brother. I haven't eaten. I ain't worried about a shower, but I haven't eaten. So
well, you deserve it, my friend. You could have fooled me. You ate up the competition, but guys, Stevie Ray's gonna have some real dinner right now,
brother.
My friend,
hey, let me ask you something, man. Let me ask you something before we leave. How do you feel about the show tonight?
I gotta tell you, that's a great question. Tonight's show was unlike any other.
Did you throw you off?
Who did?
Did the show throw you off? Everybody doing our thing. Well, let me tell you something, dog. You hung right in there. You hung right in there. You didn't let them bully you. I loved it.
Oh, no.
That's how you get back at Vince. He's a wise guy. Remember that show? Wise guy?
Of course I do.
That's what they was talking about. And brother, you came right back, and I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Hey, you know where I come from, my friend?
Oh no, man, I know.
I had to sleep in station wagons, eating bologna blowouts just to pay my dues to make it. Man, celebrity status, that doesn't mean a thing to me as long as the person's got respect. You have respect. Vince Russo, Jonathan Coachman, they brought it. You were the captain of the ship, and guys and gals and pals. This man right here is the anchor.
They thought they were dealing with a
podcast host.
No, Arthur Flickenheimer, but see what they got was Arthur Flickenheimer. But what they got was a Dutch Schultz. You did?
They got a Dutch Schultz.
Yeah.
They got a Dutch Schultz.
They were dealing with Arthur, but they was actually dealing with Dutch.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
I love you, brother. I love it.
That little two-faced situation. You just got to move one and showcase the other. That's what it was, my friend. I had a great time, man.
Hey,
I'm going to say this right now. Why not say it right now? Mr. Knobs is trying to sign in, but I want to say this to you right now.
Okay.
Guys and gals, do not be surprised if you see the trio or the foursome that you saw tonight come to a town near you in 2025, because we're cooking up some real delicious hors d'oeuvres and main courses for you.
Yes. And I think I concur.
There we go.
I'm right with you.
There we go.
I think we did the job, brother.
We did the job. Guys,
we did the job, bro.
Number one, as always, Mr. Stevie Ray. You have a great night, my good friend.
You too, brother. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it too. I love that guy. Guys, that guy's real, man. Everything he brings to the table, it's not just talking over your head. It's not facts. You'll get those too. But you will have somebody who brings you down to earth. He brings other people down to earth. He relates to you. He's able to present so well. And here's the funny thing. It comes from the heart. This is the Stevie Ray you'll see off camera too. Howard, you know what I'm talking about. Kelly J. White, guys and gals, please give it up for the judges. I want to bring them in. This is their show. I'll play the outro in a few minutes because we're 3 hours and 1 minute. But guys, Captain Moist Voice, tonight was an amazing night. I can't believe this amazing show. I wasn't expecting any of this. Thank you. Gus, feel this moment. This is a legendary night. Absolutely. Sharon, I really had a blast watching this great show. Absolutely. Howard, this match was more than intense. It was necessary. Please need to see the show. It would help people, help me. Thank you. That's what we're here to do. John Glowaniak, smart guy. Stevie, great man. Wish he was an Eagles fan. Todd Bridges is, though, so don't worry. And you're going to find out now, if you watch the outro, hang out a little bit longer because you're going to find out next week's match. Kelly's going to find out. Howard's going to find out. Larry's going to find out. They have no idea. You're going to find out next Saturday's matchup. There's still a lot of heavy hitters to come in this tournament. Jonathan Coachman, guys and gals and pals, what do you make of him? Jonathan Coachman he thought he had this thing in the bag, but he moved on. He's going to be in round number 2. Vince moved on. He's going to be in round number 2. They're going to be separated. They'll be separated from each other. You're not going to see them in the same match. But if you tune into the Black Box this Wednesday, you're going to find out who Stevie Ray is going to face in round number 2, who Vince Russo is going to face in round number 2, and who Jonathan Coachman. We're going to make sure every 30 minutes on that show, one of them will essentially find out in real time who they'll be facing. I'll put their names in a bowl. They will be facing a match that's already been set that hasn't exactly taken place yet. They'll be inserted into a match. What do you guys think of that, Kelly, Larry, and Howard?
Oh man, who Stevie's gonna face? I'm dying to find out who that's gonna be. I can't.
It won't be Kelly's a third rounder. We know that.
That's true. That's true. They still got to get there, but
I have to ask Kelly this though, because guys, again, one of my favorites to win this, and I say public here with this mic, is Kelly White. There's no doubt. Kelly. Is it safe to say, I know you're not obviously intimidated by anybody, but do you think of all the people you've seen that perhaps Stevie Ray might be one of those individuals, should he make it to round 3 and should he face you, that would give you the toughest challenge of anyone you've seen?
I have to say yes. I mean, he's definitely, proved himself tonight, if not before, with all that. He's quick on his feet. He has an abundance of facts floating around, ready to come out, and he has a great way to present them. So yeah, most definitely. I mean, he's not alone in that, but yeah, he is definitely up there in the high ranking people.
I would agree. Larry, what are your thoughts, Mr. Lemley?
I can't wait for Stevie Ray to end up in JW and Howard's match.
Oh,
that's going to be awesome. Sorry, Howard.
Wow.
Howard, again, you seem to be, every time we bring up JW's name, guys, don't go anywhere. Again, check out the Avi. Thank you. Listen, Russ, you got some great fashion. You don't have to follow my trend. You, my friend, I've seen your blazers. They're pretty hot. Guys, you're going to put JFK on after this is over. John Candy's performance, John Glowaniak, was amazing in that film. Wouldn't you agree? Very overlooked as well. So was Joe Pesci. Anytime you get Joe Pesci and John Candy in the same film, like what? Howard, regardless of who Stevie might face.
Sure.
Let's take a different approach. Vince Russo, Jonathan Coachman. Do you see them? I do, as formidable. I feel like, again, you take a Jonathan Coachman or a Vince Russo and put them in a different match, I think they could be favorites. I mean, they're passionate. They're definitely individuals that give a lot of thought to what they're about to say. They know how to speak to an audience. They're broadcasters. They're writers. They're authors. Your thoughts?
No, great speakers. Were able to take their argument, know when to make a deeper point and when to just keep it short and right to the point. And we saw that a lot with Coach and with Vince. And Vince's his passion, it's undeniable. Is screaming out of the screen. So I think they're both formidable competitors.
How about the judges, guys, in the comment section? Ed, Sharon, DJ Solo, Free NX, Gus Galaxy. See you all there. John Glowaniak, Lester Cook, Rita Gooding, Captain Moist Voice, Chad Dixon. You guys give it up. I mean, God, did you see how hard it was to judge this thing? Kelly White, Larry, and Howard, and Brian made it look easy. And even Brian was thrown off, if you remember. How about Mr. Knobs coming in there out of nowhere? Nobody had seen him in quite some time. I talked to the guy a lot. We communicate with almost every participant in this tournament. He was dying to get in this thing as a judge. Even that's a hot ticket. But once he realized how difficult this thing is to judge, I think Brian was like, wait a minute, I might have underestimated how tough judging might be in this tournament.
Well, I mean, Avi, again, three huge personalities. Okay, some shout out to you. Okay, you were able to kind of keep the train moving, keep the intensity, keep the take the shots, give the shots, and so my man, my boy, big shout out to you as well.
It's if somebody wants to go a certain direction, I may not know how to waltz, but I know how to dance. So we'll dance, not a problem. Guys and gals, a man who knows how to dance, and there's no doubt about that. Every time we watch his top 10, we are always learning something. He's able to articulate himself with such grace as only one could do on a dance floor. Mr. Chad 10, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well, Avi. How are you tonight?
I am doing quite well. What are your instant reaction, Chad? What are your thoughts?
Tonight, wow. I mean, three wrestling icons, from just different areas. I mean, with all their knowledge and talent and just your amazing topics. Tonight was, as I said in the comments, it has to be my favorite match so far of
I would agree.
round two. On the edge of my seat the whole night, just wanting more. Like, just mind-blowing the whole night.
John Glowaniak still trying to figure out how Russo's bath trumps 15 grand in the trip to Greece. Oh, no, he wants to win this thing. What you guys, and I'll break it to you because it's kind of the 11th hour of the 11th hour matchup right now. What you saw, guys and gals, was we kind of lifted the curtain a little bit, but what you saw was Pro Wrestling 101. Some people messaged me and said, man, these guys are amazing pros. Are they in character? I'll let you figure it out. I'll let you guys figure it out. That's the art of pro wrestling. It makes you think. Kelly White knows what I'm talking about. It makes you think. And those three men made you think. I guarantee you, based on the actual text that I got from them, yeah, they're thinking about Greece and they're thinking about round number 2. And they're pretty pumped to still be in this tournament. That's Jonathan, and that's also Russo, and of course, Stevie Ray. And again,
I'll say this real quick, if I can, Avi.
Please.
After that particular display, the rest of the contestants in this tournament need to watch and take note. There's a new edge added.
There is no doubt about that. And there are no ties, guys. So now, again, as you know, in second round matchups, Stevie, Vince, and Mr. Coachman are in round number 2. There's no lifeline there. There are no ties. There'll be tie breakers. Guys, again, hard to judge. Gloria, thank you for your comments as well. Guys, we're going to get out of here with an outro. 3 hours and 8 minutes. Larry, your thoughts?
Yeah, could I just say one thing?
Sure.
I've talked to each of these gentlemen. Kelly was there and saw me go through this, but last week it was shared that Jacques Rougeau's significant other, Natalie, has beat cancer.
Yeah.
I'm a stage 4 cancer survivor, had 600 hours of chemotherapy. Congratulations very much on that. Stay strong, recover. It only gets better from here.
Absolutely.
Guys, you heard it. I pulled up Jacques' comment as well. He watches and comments, and he heard Larry. I'm sure he's going to appreciate that. Guys and gals, Larry conquered cancer, and we're going to hear more from Larry, guys. This is not the only time. Man's got a great journey. Man, oh man. Guys, Kelly White, again, a man who gives it every single time. Been there for me personally as well. He has no idea how much I appreciate him. And his intellect and grace are enough, but he's got a lot more as well. Guys, In Details, The Howard Show. Chad's going to have a show cooked up. All of the Green Roomers with their shows. Stay tuned. I promise you're going to see flyers as those talk shows return and will be airing regularly very soon. Guys, again, Chad, every single day, bleeds TKN, wears TKN, literally. We appreciate that. And Howard Collado, a true hermano, who's been there for me as well during a very tough week, was there with my family in person, and we appreciate you and love you. Guys, you'll love this outro. Here's your top 10 of who you think some of the top contenders are, and then also enjoy the tail end of the outro. You're going to see Kelly. You're going to see Kelly, Chad, Howard, and Larry maybe give you some nonverbals as they kind of look forward to seeing who's going to be on screen. I might give them solo layouts. Who's going to be on next week? What matchup do we have? You're going to find out right now.
Obsession's going to be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about?
Charlie always made me feel like I really was funny. I felt like I was.
Really like my act. And she said, if you ever come to LA, write to me, let me know. And I wrote to her, and then she cast me in Incredible Shrinking Woman.
We're talking, Joe is up against 430 other players. Now, that was 82 years ago, and he remains unbroken.
And so for me, I wanted freedom from fear, freedom from a kind of a deep sense of rejection that I had growing up.
I feel technology definitely gave an opportunity for you to get more educated on everything.
I'll just wait, but in there, Latifah had me there and in different spots, so it was like we met from there, and that's why you'll see Pac in the Uptown Anthem video.
You crave the Diet Sunkist.
I do.
Yes, and I crave the Diet 7-Up, and I have not had one for, oh my, at least 12 minutes. So I know how you are feeling.
A lot of kid actors don't figure it out, and I think, not saying I have, I'm always growing or trying to grow, But I think I did all right.
The horror films seem to have such a rabid fan base, such a staying power, that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fans. So for that, I have to be really thankful.
Hey, thank God I only have to go 3 rounds with the former heavyweight champion of the world, because I want no part of you for 12.
And to raise money for the Tillman Foundation's Military Scholars Program, an investment in veterans and military families through education and community.
When I quit competing with whatever it is I was competing with and just learned how to be appreciative for what I had, I started feeling free in a way that I had never felt in my life.
And when Randy Savage came over to WCW, his Slim Jim sponsorship came with him. Well, actually, it came to me.
I saw him hoist the World Series trophy in 1985, and I said, that's exactly what I want to do.
And the Yankees were in dire need of a center fielder, leadoff hitter, and what better place to go? I mean, New York is amazing.
There must be a thinking entity or self for there to be thought. Someone took a gamble on me. You may have heard of him, Jerry West. The logo, the icon of our game.
Life is short. Like you said, you got to compete with yourself, look for the end of happiness, and then not have any hate or any jealousy for anyone. Just be the best you can, look for the best in people.
In life right now, I love all people. Nobody's better than anybody because I don't have an ego.
The only thing that makes a show legendary is having something of it to pass on to others.
He leaned over and he just said a few simple words. He had that long mane of dark red hair, and I'll never forget. He just leaned over and he said, "Hey, are you okay there, fella?"
Because when you stay in a place of faith, life can be filled with joy and joyful moments. Faith almost becomes the precursor to joy.
Talent in the celebrity tournament. I mean, honestly, like Howard's not even on my radar or something. Like there are so many other people that have actual talent that I would like to face in this tournament. Like he's not even on like the radar for that. But
Avi. That's where my heart breaks in two. That's where my heart breaks in two. Because if I win, yes, you're out, and thank God. But also my brother is out, and I know how much this means to him. So thank you, JW. What you have done is cause a lot of chaos in my heart and in my mind. So thank you.
I wind up telling them stories, you know, and they would laugh, and they said, "Is that story true?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And they said, "You should write a book."
So it was a great camp, and I have a lot to be thankful for Vern and what he did for all of us.
Yeah. It's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that inch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore. You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you.
You know what? Maybe one of the world's problems will get solved by listening to this show.
Avi, I'm gonna win this whole thing. Watch.
I know you are, Tom. I know you are.
Yeah.